What's up, everybody? It's J&J with Justin and Jordan. Justin, before we say what we got going on, please introduce a brand new guest that has never been on the show before.
So today, guys, we are joined by Mr. John Tortorelli. Shout out to him, producer, I believe, of the Pick a Side podcast. Bro, I just want to say thank you for pulling up. It felt like a long shot just even reaching out to you, but just wanted to let you know, watching your content and watching what you do, it inspires the both of us, and we want to continue to strive and work towards that, and also build those relationships and try to just connect with other people in this workspace as well.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. I'm excited to be here. A nice cold Saturday morning here in January. So I feel like it's a good time. We got some all-star selections to talk about for the starters. We got some top 10 contenders. I'm looking forward to being here. And as always, great to talk some ball.
Yeah, be comfortable, John. You could let him know if he's glazing too, by the way. You could always be comfortable.
You got to give a warm welcome for the guest.
I appreciate it.
Always.
It was a good introduction.
And that was my first intro. I've never done an intro before.
Not yet, though, but he is just keeping it a bean. As we told JC, though, because JC's been here before.
Yeah.
We're inspired by TTW and NOTB. But what made this feel realistic was you guys, because you guys are up the road. Because, NOTB, obviously all the way in Chicago, so we're like, all right, they're cool. They're propped up by so-and-so. But you guys are up the road, so we're like, all right, they're like 10 minutes away, 5 minutes away.
Yeah.
Why can't we do the same thing? So big shout out to all you guys. Thank you so much for coming.
It's crazy how far it's come, though, because I remember 2020, because I don't know if you know Michael.
I'm not familiar.
Well, doing
Federal, too.
Yeah, Federal.
Show with the last names. You keep doing that,
I
bro.
keep doing that. But he was the one that was like, yo, sub to Pick a Side. This was back when it was like, bro, it was probably under 100 followers at that point.
Pick a side?
Yeah. And because I remember JC was on it, so I was like, I knew JC because we worked together.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, I'm going to follow this. And then I'm like, oh shit, I seen Riv on there. I'm like, I know.
knew Riv.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to tune in. And then I just kept watching. I'm like, this is actually pretty dope. And I just kept following up ever since.
Right. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of the neighboring towns, like Tenafly, Pagoda, Englewood, Hackensack, maybe not Englewood as much. They're all so interconnected. So I feel like Riv knows so many people from these surrounding towns. But I got him in the same exact way. I was a senior in high school, and I was making YouTube content, and I believe Pick a Side was at like 1,700 followers, under 2,000. At the time, my YouTube channel like around the same size roughly.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me just reach out and see if they'd want to like collaborate or some bullshit. And that was never gonna happen because the YouTube channel and the podcast really isn't perfectly aligned. They're like, no, boy, like we're looking for someone to like edit our videos and stuff like that. And I started editing videos, and then surely enough, got opportunities to go on the air. So it's definitely kind of been a full circle moment for me too.
No, yeah. Always do appreciate guys who do give us the time to even just come over here, whether it's friends, people who give us the opportunity just even to come over here. And yeah, just big thanks to you. Justin, what do we got going on today as always, though?
So today we got more Jimmy Butler drama. I've been tired of talking about him for the last...
You keep saying he's banned, but there's always new shit.
He always does some shit. So now he's suspended for 2 games for missing a team flight. He also lost $3 million. We also got all-star starter reactions. You see the jersey. We got 2 of them this year. And we have our top 10 list of contenders. There's going to be an interesting conversation because coming up with this list, I was like, damn, do I really want to put this team on there? But I was like, fuck it. And then Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, his recent play.
Finally, bro.
Yeah, he's been
Mr.
dogging.
Consistent, but
finally got that 50 ball.
Finally, bro. Finally
got that 50 ball.
But I'm just going to throw y'all a quick curveball, something I do randomly to Justin every once in a while. Never have it scheduled, just always random. Favorite game of the week, though, for y'all. Obviously, for you, cannot be the Knicks. Justin, go. Favorite game of the week.
Favorite game of the week? I'm not going to lie. I'll say last night, even though it's mad recent.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cavs Sixers. That game was crazy.
It was crazy.
Ty Jerome went the fuck off. He was like 8 for 8 from 3. We got to see PG go crazy. Donovan Mitchell hooped out. Darius Garland did his thing. Maxey did his thing. It was a fun game though. A game that I wasn't expecting to be that exciting.
No, yeah, 100%. Especially with how Philly's looking so far, I did not expect them to put up no fight. I could tell you that much.
Yeah.
It was a pretty exciting game. What about you, John?
I'd have to go with, and you're gonna call me basic here, but I gotta go with Thunder Jazz. Shea, of course, putting together a performance I've watched like 3 times this week. That's why I have to go with it. 'Cause I felt like we're gonna talk about it a little bit. I felt like I was watching D Wade when I was tuning into that game. So I'd have to say, Shea getting his first 50 ball without iHeart, without Chet. That to me was the game that probably I enjoyed watching the most for sure.
My number one game, Justin. Always pushing agendas. The comeback, which we almost put together last night as well, but the comeback that we did put together, Kings Warriors. We was down 20, against the Warriors. Came back. DeRozan almost outscored the Warriors completely in the third quarter. We locked Stephen Curry's ass up second half. Keegan Murray, Keon Ellis really had him in hell. And guess what? We put them to bed. We put them down to rest. We're obviously ahead of them still in the standings. And it's still a close battle down there in the bottom. We still 2 games behind the 5th seed Lakers. And like I told you, bro, we clawing for it. We almost did it again against the Nuggets. Unfortunately, couldn't do it. But, hey, man, we still in that fight. That was definitely my favorite game, though. And that's why I love watching the Kings, bro. No matter what.
Fun to watch.
Yeah, no matter what.
Yeah.
Even when they down by 20, which kind of frustrates me because they're definitely not a first half team. They're a second half team.
Right.
Even when they down by 20, I don't turn that shit off. I'm still like, all right, let me see. Because even when Fox dropped to 60, they was down by a lot. Yeah. And I was like, all right, let me still stay tuned in. That was the night of the Mike Tyson fight. I was like, let me stay tuned in a little bit.
Right.
Have it on the phone, have the fight on the TV. I was like, oh shit, they coming back. So no matter what, they always in it. That's why they always my second most watched team besides the Knicks. And that's definitely my favorite game of the week. Shout out to all the boys. Shout out to DeMar DeRozan. But Justin, let's get first into the All-Star reactions.
Yeah.
You already know my first reaction to the West. But first, before we get into the little mini rant, I obviously want to focus on the positivity first. We're a positive first show.
There you go.
Want to show some love to Big Bodega. Show some love to, the big captain, King of New York, Jalen Brunson. Knicks had their first 2 Knicks starters since I don't think it wasn't Walt and Willis Reed. I believe it was Walt and Earl the Pearl. Yeah. And that was back in the 70s. That's how long it's been since we've had 2 starters. Well deserved. To be honest with you, the Brunson one was kind of hard fought. Cat did get his due deserved spot.
Right.
Just want to ask you guys, was there anything wrong with any of the 5 selections you think in the starters?
I'm going to say yes. I don't know if you want me to start because coming in, I felt like Donovan Mitchell deserved to be an All-Star this year, but I didn't think he deserved to be an All-Star starter. And we talked about it before. I do believe that Darius Garland should have made it over. He's been a better player this year. And I understand that, of course, Donovan overall may be the better player, just generally speaking. But Garland's just been way more efficient, a better playmaker, right? Specifically the year he's down 43% from 3, 63% true shooting compared to Donovan at 57. Obviously, he's averaging 2.5 more assists. I feel like Garland should have gotten that spot. But even if not, Cade as well is someone who, at the year that he's been having, had just as good of a case as Garland. And the reason why I'd have DG above him is because of the wins. The Cavaliers have had an uber impressive start to the year as the 1 seed. And then on the other side of the coin, the Pistons are multiple games over 500 with one of the most run-of-the-mill rosters in the NBA. And for Cade to be averaging, 9.5 assists, 23 points, he's been good defensively without even having Jaden Ivey as his number 2. I mean, those 2 guys, to me, I felt like should have been clear candidates to start over Donovan Mitchell, but at the same exact time, the Cavs at least got some starter, and so it's not the worst pick you could have saw.
No, yeah, 100%. DG has been pretty underrated. Like I told Justin, Donovan Mitchell is kind of the face of the Cavs.
Yeah.
He has taken a step back and kind of for the better. Yeah. I understand why they had him start, even though he's kind of taking that step back, but it's kind of debatable at this point in time who's the best Cavs player. It's always different some certain nights. Like you said with DG, borderline 50-40-90. I think he's like 49 and change percent, just under 90% from the free throw range. I'm pretty sure he's gonna get it anyways by the end of the season.
Yeah. Right.
But and then you also got Emo. There's many nights where he looks like the best guy out there too. So it's not like Donovan Mitchell in like the past 2 seasons where like I pushed the agenda where it's like I thought he was a top 5 player in the past 2 seasons. But now it's like he's taking that step back. I would say for the better. Now it's everyone's getting involved. Now I think that they put to rest the whole okay, you got to trade Mitchell or Garland. Now it's they could coexist.
Yeah.
But I would say definitely if you had to start one of the 2, start Darius Garland. But my personal opinion, like you just said, I would have put Cade Cunningham instead. That's the only kind of issue I would have had. But I understand that you have to start somebody from that number 1 seed. And I guess if it had to be Donovan Mitchell, put Donovan Mitchell, the face of the Cavs. I would have put Darius Garland, but Cade Cunningham is the best of the 3.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the same. I mean, when Donovan Mitchell when I saw him up there, I wasn't like, damn, like he doesn't deserve it. I was like, yeah, I understand why. Me personally would have went with Cade Cunningham as well, just because the expectations this year. Like Jordan and I thought we didn't think they would be as bad as last year. We thought they'd be better. But to see what they're doing this year, it's way better. And then you take into account like Jaden Ivey going down, and then all the question marks with the Tobias Harris signing, the Tim Hardaway Jr. signing. Like, yeah, more spacing, but is that really going to work? And we see 100%. What Cade Cunningham has been able to do. And people like to knock him. Nick Muse got to chill out because they're like, Cade Cunningham turnovers. I'm like, that's not going to fix itself until they get another ball handler out there. But what Cade's been able to do has been fucking impressive as hell with that roster. So I would have went with him. DG, I was like, I thought about it too because we had that same conversation. In the clutch, he's like their guy.
Except with what just happened. But yeah.
Except with what just happened. Generally speaking. But I'm like, yo, I could only imagine the fucking like the outrage if they put Garland up there starting. But I'm not mad at it. There was another thing about this starters that made me upset. But we'll get to that.
Nah, go ahead. With the East or the West?
With the West.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We'll stay in the East.
Yeah, we'll stay in the East.
Because I want to ask you guys, there's a lot of people whining about the LaMelo stuff. The trade thing is kind of quiet, which I'm happy about, to be honest with you.
Those TikTok comments, man.
I don't know if you saw the Trae Young clip. I don't even think he should really be in consideration for the All-Star game.
Trae Young.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know how you feel about that. I said the Hawks deserve one representative. I think it should be Jalen Johnson.
Okay.
And there's too many great guards in the East. But the LaMelo guys are really out in full force. They're loud as hell. Yeah. I can understand why he's putting up great numbers. He was the number 1 vote getter for the guards. But the media and the players just didn't like give him enough votes to start. But I just want to ask you guys in general, do you guys think that LaMelo had enough of a shout? Or do you really think it was just between Brunson, Cade, Darius, and Mitchell?
I think... Nah, I kind of knew that the coaches and media was gonna push LaMelo back. Like the fan vote, he got that 100%.
Yeah.
But I knew when it came down to like media and coaches, I'm like, they're gonna dial it back. Cause one, they're the 11th seed, I think, or the 12th seed.
They're down low,
and his efficiency isn't really like that great.
Terrible.
Because whenever we was cooking Trae Young, everybody was like, "What about LaMelo?"
Yeah, it is Trae Young tier. Yeah, it is.
It is Trae Young tier of efficiency. So, but I'm like, the motherfucker's averaging 30, so you can't really talk. But
consistency.
But like,
bro.
there's a lot of other guys that like they met the criteria, which is funny because we was talking about that. But like, you had Brunson, who has the efficiency, has the numbers. Cade, who has everything. The only thing that sucks is the turnovers. You have Donovan Mitchell. Garland's numbers aren't better, but efficiently he's way better. Absolutely. So I would take him, and on top of the fact that they're the number 1 seed, so you get that extra boost. Damian Lillard, who nobody's talked about.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, I didn't even
who's having a better season this year than last year.
He's a reserve.
And last year was a down year for Dame. Nobody talked about him. He should be over them too. But I knew that was kind of gonna weigh him down with the media and coaches.
Yeah, I felt the same exact way. For me, it comes down to impact.
Yeah.
LaMelo Ball is averaging, insane production, 30 a game, 7 assists, but he's on the 28th ranked offense. And like we have these conversations like, who would you rather have, Halliburton or LaMelo Ball? And on one side of the coin, LaMelo is the more productive player, but it's not led to anything. That production has in many ways been empty calories because if you can't, as this do-it-all guard, at least get your offense out the gutter, out the bottom 10. I understand Brandon Miller just went down for the year. You haven't had Mark Williams all year. Miles Bridges has been inefficient, but there still has been a foundation around him, and their defense this year has been better than the offense. And I felt like because of the fact that Melo has had, paltry efficiency, 33% from 3, he's not getting to the foul line a whole lot, and it's been kind of like hard to get that 30 points a game. And you're still one of the 3 worst offenses in the NBA. I would have Dame above him. Of course, I would have DG and Cade as well. And I felt like he'll probably get as a replacement at the very least, but I still won't even have him as a reserve personally because, yeah, it's an impressive season, but even then, there have been guys like Bradley Beal who have averaged 30 points a game.
That's what I told him.
Those offenses have been average. Yes. LaMelo's averaging 30, and it's done absolutely nothing. So you do have to kind of question kind of what is this leading to. And I want to ask you guys, I'm kind of curious where you stand. We just did a redraft on our Objectively Biased show, and I took LaMelo Ball, or I didn't take LaMelo Ball. Riff took him at 3. I had the second overall pick in this redraft. I took Tyrese Halliburton above him for the Warriors because in my mind, I'm like, Halliburton wasn't healthy to start this year. He's had these consistent hamstring issues, but if I'm looking to build an offense, Halliburton has had seasons where he's led elite offenses even before they got Pascal Siakam. Would you rather have Halliburton even this year with last year in mind, or would you rather have LaMelo?
So are you saying, because you said the redraft, if I was the Warriors in that point in time, or if I'm any team? If I'm the Warriors in that point in time and I know what Halliburton's going to become, I'm going to take Halliburton.
Right.
Halliburton would fit so much better with Stephen Curry. But like, just pinpoint any random team and I'm just like, I know the potential of what these guys can become later on in the future.
Right.
I'll take LaMelo.
Yeah.
I'll take LaMelo just as a random team. I truly think that LaMelo, if you get him like decent pieces, I'm not going to say they're going to be playoff locks, but we've seen LaMelo carry teams to at least like the play-in, and they'll lose. Yeah. I'm not saying that he is a winning player, but he can at least get you into the play-in.
Right.
And unfortunately, the pieces around him, they're a little bit injured. They're not that good.
Right.
And I do know that he's just throwing that shit up there. Let's just be real. This season compared to the other ones, he's just throwing that shit up there.
13 threes is
insane.
Yeah. He's throwing that shit up there compared to the previous years where he's getting into the play-in. Yeah. But I know that he can at least get you there. He could get you to like 42, 43 minutes. He's capable. We've seen him do it. Yeah. But the Warriors specifically, if you're telling me in that moment I'm the Golden State Warriors, I know what these guys look like 5-6 years from now. I'll take Halliburton. I would 100% take Halliburton. I think he fits better with that system. He could play off Curry way better.
Yeah. When I first saw that clip and I saw you took Halliburton second, I was like, you're kind of crazy. But then I dialed it back. I'm like, wait, nah. If I was the Warriors, Halliburton does make more sense.
Especially at Poole. Yeah. I was thinking you want to keep Poole long term, and in that second unit, who would you rather have? LaMelo, who's kind of not really, he's a little bit redundant with Poole from a shot selection perspective. But then you put Halliburton in that second unit, you basically have an elite orchestrator for Steph to sit 20 minutes a night in the regular season.
Correct.
So I honestly, even if I'm not the Warriors, I would still consider it just because this year has kind of been, to me, not necessarily an aberration because he started off so poorly, dreadful from 3, and he's really picked it back up to about 35%. Yeah. But I look at the last 2 years before he had these like consistent hamstring issues, which came in the second half of the year. He's been great, really good in the playoffs. He's been great in the regular season. 18-8 leading an elite playoff offense. I understand there are a lot of injuries, which they would not be in the Knicks if the Knicks didn't lose like 6 rotation players.
Correct.
Especially like 2-3 in Game 7.
At least you know.
But at least Halliburton has shown that he can lead an elite offense without a whole lot of support. LaMelo's led like a top 9, top 10. He barely gotten to that spot in 2022 and they won 43 games. But I wonder if he can lead an offense that same exact level because we haven't really seen it since then.
Yeah, so far, not yet. But I think if you give him the capable pieces, I'm very confident he can at least get you like to the absolute best of ceiling, a 7 seed. Top 4, top 5, probably not. I'm just being brutally honest, probably not unless he dials back the shooting.
I think it's possible, actually.
Like let's see. If he does have the capable guys, I don't know if he's going to dial back the shooting. Hopefully. But if he does, I think he could get to that level. But right now, with what we see right now, I think he would cap out like as a 7 or 6 seed as the best player right now. I don't know. What do you think, Justin?
It's like so much things would have to like fall in line. Like
the perfect pieces.
Perfect pieces, the health of the entire team. Because like you said, Brandon Miller just went down. Mark Williams was out for a long time. He just came back and he's hooping right now. Yeah. So it's like a lot of pieces will have to go together. Tajane Salon, that pick is like, I mean, it's a project pick, but it's like, damn, I would have liked them to see like another like.
It's not moving, man.
I would have liked to see like another ball handler for that team, like outside of LaMelo, like something like that, because they got rid of Terry Rozier, and it was like, I would like to see something else like in replacement of that. But yeah, it would have to take the other pieces, Brandon Miller's health at this point, LaMelo's health at this point. It's just a lot. Do I think he could like will the team himself to that high in the standings? I don't know about that. Like I would probably say like an 8 seed. It would have to take like, I think a collective, as well as him doing like some of these things he's doing like in spurts. Like he could just take over at certain times. I think that is kind of like the recipe for them.
All right, let me ask y'all this now. You got to send one guy and one guy only. Last wild card spot.
Yep.
You guys sending LaMelo or Trae Young? Which could really be a possibility for that last spot.
Yeah.
Because the 2 guard spots could probably go to Cade and go to Darius Garland or Cade and Dame. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
that leaves a wild card.
My answer, I think, depends on if Jalen Johnson is on the All-Star team or not.
He should be. In my opinion,
if he
should be as a reserve, not even as a wild card. As a reserve, he should be.
If he is, I would put LaMelo because I'm not giving the Hawks 2.
I agree. I don't believe Atlanta deserves 2 All-Stars. I think that you're splitting hairs between JJ and Trae, where it's a 1A, 1B as to who's been like their more deserving All-Star. But with the season that LaMelo's having, I know that they're a dog shit team for the most part. I do believe that would kind of, the Hawks having 2 All-Stars when you're a sub 500 team, 500 team. I feel like at that point, I'd be better off just giving it to LaMelo, who's still having, like, I get the efficiency is not there, but 30 points a game as a reserve replacement, I think I'll go with him.
Yeah, we're all agreeing because Justin already knows Trae Young's season, it's not moving me. I think a lot of people are really overrating the playmaking. The playmaking's impressive, but a lot of people are really saying he's leading the league in assists. He's averaging like 11.6, 11.5 assists. You guys send him to the All-Star game as if we've never seen anyone average 11 assists before in our lifetimes. We've seen people do it all the time. We've seen Rondo average 11 assists and not even sniff the All-Star game with the Kings. We've seen it before. So it's nothing new. He's only averaging about 22 points per game. He's barely shooting 40%. When we first made our early All-Star ballots, he was shooting 39%.
Like 38, yeah.
Hats off to him. He got to 40. Yeah. He got to 40 and change. Good for him. Yeah. He's still having a big turnover issue. So it's like he's really not moving me this season. I'm not seeing what everyone else is seeing, just being honest with you guys. So, of course, I would rather send LaMelo Ball than Trae Young to an All-Star game. But that's just me. Jalen Johnson, to me, I know you're saying 1A, 1B. Mm-hmm. To me, Jalen Johnson's 1. Jalen Johnson's 1, Trae Young is 2. In the playoffs, it could change. Absolutely, it could change. Mm-hmm. I think in the playoffs, Trae Young will be 1. But right now in the regular season, Jalen Johnson looks like the best player on that Hawks team. Absolutely, bro. He looks like the better player to me. Because Trae Young in the past has been much better. I don't know why people are saying this is the best version of Trae Young. Trae Young a couple of years ago is way better than the Trae Young that we're seeing this year.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I don't know what people are seeing this year that makes them think this Trae Young is better than the past Trae Youngs that we've seen. The past version of Trae Youngs that we've seen were much more efficient. Right. And I would say is just as good of a playmaker that he is right now. Is that he's only averaging 2 more assists. Mm-hmm. Averaging more assists doesn't make you a better playmaker. Sure. If you're watching the actual game, he's really a similar playmaker. He's a similar level of playmaker. Nothing's changed. He was averaging one or 2 more assists.
Yeah, he's always been.
And brother, he was averaging 29 points to go along with that. Right. Shooting 46% from the field.
That was his second year, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he was bugging that year.
So how is this the best Trae Young?
Yes. No, it definitely hasn't been. He was dealing with Achilles tendonitis for a good stretch of the season, and you could tell during those games he would sit out, come back, and he wouldn't really look the same way, kind of getting off the dribble, or he really just wasn't moving the same way. And I do believe that we have seen better seasons from Trae. Now, at the same exact time, I do think you're underrating 11 assists because, like, when you've got guys like Nikola Jokic and Tyrese Halliburton who are all-time to elite level playmakers in Halliburton's case, and they're not remotely close to Trae, it does show kind of how rare of a passer he still is. I don't know necessarily if he's gotten better as a playmaker as much as, having Jalen and his growth has kind of allowed that offense to kind of generate more open shots and more quality looks to make more and get more assists. But at the same exact time, I feel like with the way we talk about Trae, a lot of it's based off the efficiency, but the impact is still there to where I look at guys like who say like LaMelo, right? The efficiency's not there and the impact or the value hasn't quite been there. Trae Young's case is different because, no, he hasn't been efficient this year by any stretch, but he's still leading one of the better offenses. Now, I do believe with how high it raises your floor, people tend to dismiss, his play because of turnovers or efficiency. But I feel like you really got to look deeper into where he kind of still is leading. He's one of the best orchestrators in the NBA still.
But here's where I push back on the assist per game thing, right? And this is why I said it's about the eye test. Because like I said, Trae Young averaging 9 assists per game. It's still the orchestrator, like you said, that he is this year with the 11.5, right?
Right.
LeBron, as we've seen throughout the years, consistently is like an 8 assists per game guy.
Yeah.
Still one of the best playmakers of all time.
Yeah.
I would say he's a better playmaker than the OG Isaiah Thomas, who's put up seasons with 13 assists per game. I would say he's better than a lot of playmakers who've put up multiple seasons of 11, 12 assists per game. This is a guy who probably capped out at 10 in one season? I think his best season is just a flat 10 and change, right? Never got to 11. Most of his seasons are 8, maybe 9. And he's still one of the best playmakers of all time. Jokic has never had no 11. Still one of the best playmakers we've seen of all time. I don't really think assists per game really dictates how great of a playmaker you are. And that's why I think if you're looking at it with your eyes, it's just based on, the reads that you're making, how good you're taking care of the ball. That's what's mattering to me. And that's why I'm saying Trae Young, just a couple years ago, it was really only 9 assists. It's still a similar level of playmaking that he is doing this year. It's just a couple more assists in the assists per game column. But to me, it's still the same level of playmaking. If you guys know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
It's still the same level.
That's fair.
I'm not seeing any crazy improvement. Right. I'm not saying his playmaking is not good. Far from it. He's a great playmaker. But this notion that people are saying that he's that they're claiming that he's made this phenomenal jump in playmaking or anything from last year to this year, I'm not understanding that. Because of just a jump in assists per game, he's still the same playmaker. Nothing has changed at all. Yeah. That's just the only point I'm making. Nothing's changed at all. He's always been this great playmaker. Nothing's changed at all. It's just been an assist per game to me. And I would still send LaMelo Ball no matter what. He's just not that all-star guy for me this year. And I know people are going to say it's a snub, but there's too much guard competition in the East. I don't see people saying why he's the best guard and the best point guard in the East. I'm not seeing it at all, brother.
The fans have spoken, bro. LaMelo's number 1 in votes.
Fans, coaches, players, media.
Fans say he's number 1 in guards, and then people they want to complain why the ratings is down. Like I would just throw that boy in there, man, because I feel like there's gonna be more of an outrage if LaMelo's left off.
100%
than Trae Young.
You low-key got to throw him in there.
Regardless.
All right, going to the West, Justin. We know where the issues lie. For me, I don't know about for you guys. Some people are saying Bron don't deserve it. We know who Bron is. People saying Curry don't deserve it. People saying Wemby got to be in here. What already is the number 1 glaring issue to Yatu in this starting 5 for the West?
You want to start?
Biggest hole to you,
Seems
Justin.
like you got right here.
Biggest hole, bro.
I wasn't going to cut a promo, but I was just Steph Curry, bro. Like,
Steph Curry, bro.
I remember watching this shit live, and I was like, come on, bro. Really? like we did our All-Star ballots and our prediction. We didn't even take into account it's the NBA, it's Steph Curry, they're gonna put him in here. We didn't do that. We legitimately made our ballots of guys who we think should be in, and we went down the list, and I'm like, all these guys are having a better season than Stephen Curry. And I know it's the NBA, they're gonna put him in because it's Steph Curry. But we legitimately went down the whole thing. We're like, This guy's having a better year. This guy's having a better year. This guy's having a better year. And I know the clip went crazy.
Yeah,
with Norman Powell.
We knew he was gonna get in.
Yeah, we knew he was gonna
legacy,
get in.
We knew name. We know where the All-Star game is hosted.
Yeah.
But based on the seasons, no narrative, take narrative out of everything. We made our ballots. Curry didn't make either of ours, right? I know he didn't make mine. He didn't make either of ours, I'm pretty sure. He just didn't.
He didn't.
So we were shocked.
And I'm trying to look for the voting, the total voting right now. So you could keep going.
Did he make your All-Star ballot?
No, personally. So obviously the names, of course, it was Jokic, KD, LeBron, Shea, and then Steph in the backcourt. Steph, I knew he was going to get into, and I felt a similar way at KD and LeBron. And in those 3 players' cases, I do believe that Steph got grandfathered in the most because his production this year, 22 points a game, under 30 minutes, it is not necessarily, and similar to Donovan Mitchell, it has not necessarily been that kind of inspiring or eye-catching, but in Mitchell's case, in the 1 seed. In Steph's case, is the team fighting to be in the top 8. So I didn't feel like he was more deserving than a lot of guards. You highlighted, there's guards you look at even De'Aaron Fox on the Kings.
My brother.
De'Aaron Fox this year has been the better player, the far more kind of productive player, and the more deserving All-Star to me. Luke, of course, he's not going to be on mine because of injuries. Kyrie arguably could have that spot. Yes. Kyrie's had one of the most efficient years of his career. I'm still not sure if I'd put him over Steph. That's the one name where I'm a little bit kind of questionable about that. You go a little bit further, I look at even a Devin Booker, and I kind of consider who had the more deserving All-Star season. And I don't know if Devin Booker's going to make the game this year.
No.
So that's a great example of it being like, so you can't leave Steph off. The game this year, like you highlighted, it's in San Francisco. If you left Steph off, I think there would be some issues in the media. But
100%.
there's at least 2 or 3 guards, and you can let me know if I'm missing one off the top of my head. Thank you. That's who I was forgetting. I would have Ant-Man over him. And that's who I kind of would have to lean on starting for sure when I look at what my ballot would be.
Yeah, I mean, you already said the big name for me. The name I've been pushing all season, straight agenda, D Fox, and like dudes on Twitter already said, comparing the stats. They said, look, this is the guy starting. This is a guy who might not even make the fucking game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the truth.
Yeah.
He really might not even make the game. De'Aaron Fox might not make it. This is his best season of his career. He legitimately might not make it. One-time All-Star in his whole career.
And
He's not going to make it.
I've looked at other people's like ballots. They don't even have De'Aaron Fox, which
That's
I think
my point.
is crazy.
He's not going to make it.
So
Do the Kings have 2 All-Stars, you guys?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't leave Sabonis off.
You
to
can't.
me.
You can't.
I'm sure you guys know. I've definitely been critical of Sabonis.
Yeah,
I'm definitely a critic.
Of course,
but
man.
I would arguably have him as a starter in the regular season. My gripes have never come necessarily in 82 games. I do feel this year he has a case, but of course it's Jokic at that center spot, right? But between those 2 players and the Kings, I would still have Sabonis first. And I don't know if many people are looking to give the Kings kind of like the Hawks 2 All-Stars, at least not yet.
They legitimately have 2 to me.
Yeah.
Like it's overwhelming to me. Like it's like you look at them and you see on a night to night how good those 2 are. I'm like, nah, they legitimately have 2. Despite what the record may show, I'm like that team legitimately has 2 All-Stars.
Yeah, my difference, and you can call me hypocritical, either of you two. My difference between the Kings and the Hawks, De'Aaron Fox is out playing Trae Young. Sabonis is on a whole nother tier than Jalen Johnson.
Okay.
That's how I
hate
feel.
that.
I think, and I even think De'Aaron Fox is on a whole nother tier than Trae Young. So that's why I think they deserve it. Not only that, they might be, I believe they're the 9 seed now. They were just the 7 seed. I think after the loss to the Nuggets, they're all the way down to the 9 seed.
Right.
Like I just said at the start of the show, they're 2 games behind the 5 seed. They're right there because the West is so fucking packed. So if people want to say we can't give 2 All-Stars to a 9 seed, well, in 1 week, they could legitimately be the 6th seed or they could be the 11th seed. That's how packed the West is. So, I mean, it is what it is. And to me, anyways, we've already given the Lakers 2 All-Stars so many times, whether they were good or whether they were ass.
Yeah.
So why is it a problem when it's the Kings? You feel me? It shouldn't be a problem now. So let's just get rid of the Laker bias. Let's get rid of the Bron and AD bias. I love Bron. I love Bron a lot. I get it. But let's get rid of that bias. And let's push it. And let's keep the standard the same for everybody.
Right.
So Sabonis is having his best season.
Yep.
The Kings are playing very, very fucking well under Doug Christie.
Yep.
De'Aaron Fox is having his best season of his career. Let's reward them properly. But instead, like I said, Curry starting. I get it. Home arena. He's getting old. Whatever. They're playing pretty bad. You know, this might be the sunset. Riding off. He's about to retire. Cool. But regardless, he at least needs to make the game. If he's not going to start, De'Aaron Fox needs to make the game. Because this is starting to get ridiculous.
I have the voting here in front of me for the Western Conference guards. So Stephen Curry ranked 2nd amongst the players.
Of course.
2nd in fan vote and 2nd in media votes.
I'm not surprised. And the only guy that's going to beat him is Shea. Because Shea's the front runner for MVP.
Yep.
If he wasn't the front runner for MVP, Curry would be first in everything.
Then behind Curry was Luka.
Who doesn't even qualify.
Who doesn't even qualify.
He doesn't qualify.
Do we have how many games Luka has played exactly? I didn't get to see that. If we could,
I could look it up real quick, but I know he does not qualify.
But he doesn't qualify regardless.
Right.
Yeah,
Which I don't know
qualify.
why they're voting for him. He doesn't qualify.
Yeah, that's like a waste.
He doesn't qualify. Paulo doesn't qualify. Franz doesn't qualify. So I don't know why they're
Lucas
available to
played
vote for
22 games this
22,
season.
yeah.
You can't even vote for him.
Anthony Edwards is under Luka, then Kyrie, then Ja. I don't even think Ja qualifies.
I think when we looked it up, he just barely missed it by like a game.
Yeah.
By a game.
Then James Harden, then De'Aaron Fox. So that tells you.
You mean to tell me all those guys are better than De'Aaron Fox?
Yo, he was 21st in player votes, De'Aaron Fox.
that is
21st,
surprising.
De'Aaron Fox?
Yeah. No, 8th in player rank.
I was about to say 21st in player votes?
Yeah. Fan rank, 9th. Media votes, damn, 0.
I don't think anybody knows who De'Aaron Fox is. I'm not even trying to be funny. Which has kind of been my frustration since his rookie year. Nobody gives a fuck about him. And that's why I gotta be the guy to push the agenda. That's kind of what it is. You're telling me Harden, great. He's been having a good year, carrying the Clippers offense. He's been that engine. Norman Powell's been contributing as well, right? Harden's shooting like shit. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
De'Aaron Fox is better than him. Who else do you name, Justin? Kyrie doing very well, having a great season. De'Aaron Fox is still better than him. Let's just be real.
I agree.
Devin Booker having a down year. You named him. He is still outplaying Curry even in a down year.
Yeah.
Devin Booker does not deserve the All-Star game. De'Aaron Fox is outplaying him. Ant-Man's having a pretty good year. I would say they're kind of close. That one, it's up to you. Y'all could pick who you guys think is better. I would take De'Aaron Fox slightly. What you laughing at?
Because I'm looking at like the bottom of this list. They got Bronny.
Okay, nah, take that shit off. Take that shit off.
And they got Yuki from the Grizzlies.
But they got a Bronny poster though. They got a Bronny poster from last night.
Shit.
John Morant doesn't qualify. Luka doesn't qualify, and it's like, come on, bro. And De'Aaron Fox is under all these guys. Two guys that don't qualify. Kyrie Irving, who's not outplaying him. Harden, who's having a terrible shooting year, even though he's been an incredible engine. And then Stephen Curry, who, like I've been parroting for like the past 3 episodes, don't know how many times I have to say it. Lowest scoring season since his breakout year of 12-13, which isn't a bad season out. 23 points per game is not bad. But when you put it into perspective of all the talent of the guards in the West, unfortunately, it's lacking.
Yeah.
You put the stats of him and De'Aaron Fox next to each other. De'Aaron Fox is frying him in every stat except 3-point percentage and free throw percentage. Every stat.
Right.
Every single stat. Points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, field goal percentage, everything. If you care about VORP, he's beating him in VORP. Every single stat he's beating him in. But 3-point percentage and free throw shooting. But we're sending Curry in there as a lock. It's name, its reputation, it's home arena, bro. And it's kind of pissing me off. The other ones too, Bron, I gotta keep the same energy. Bron is my favorite player of all time. I kind of got to keep the same energy. I know it's the king. He's got to start. I got to put Wemby in there.
Me too.
Yeah.
I would swap Bron out for Wemby.
Yeah.
I know you gave Sabonis a shout. I love Sabonis this season. Phenomenal. He's not starter level yet. KD has been better than him.
You wouldn't start Sabonis or LeBron this season? 'Cause I would.
Well, I would start Wemby over LeBron.
Okay. I would start both. Wemby over LeBron for sure.
But then...
And then I would have Sabonis
over KD?
Over LeBron, not KD.
Well, my thing is, if you have Wemby replace LeBron, you still need Sabonis to replace somebody.
No, you're right. I'm just saying, if you even are looking
No, you're
past
saying
Wemby,
they both deserve it, but they both can't start, though, because KD's better than Sabonis.
Right.
So, I think Wemby's still better than Sabonis at this current point in time. Sabonis, no matter what, would still be a reserve to me.
Yeah.
Phenomenal season. Like they say, the Chrysler 300 looked like a Phantom till the Phantom pull up. And that's Jokic, you feel me? His numbers look great. So you see Jokic's numbers, unfortunately. So it is how it is. He's going to be stuck as a reserve this year. He better be a reserve. Let me not even guarantee it. He better be a reserve. I hope so.
He could be.
I hope they do the right thing.
I hope so.
They need to do the right thing. And you know what? Let me bring this up. Because I had the discussion with Justin. I had a heated back and forth with someone else on a TikTok live. Who deserves it more? Sabonis or Triple J right now?
Wow.
I'll say Sabonis.
I don't think it's close. To be completely honest with you.
Close.
I don't think so.
But I would go with Sabonis. The reason why I think about it is Jaren's having his best offensive season, and he's been the anchor of a top 5 defense. And I don't believe John Morant this year is an all-star. Obviously, doesn't qualify. Even if he did, I don't think he's having an all-star caliber season. It's good the production. On the other hand, Jaren's been their most impactful player, and that's top 3 seed in the Western Conference. On the other flip of the coin, the Kings, they are, of course, a team that's kind of hovering anywhere from 5 to 9. But with the year that Jaren's having offensively, it's basically last year, just obviously on a way better team. So that's why I do believe Jaren's having an all-star caliber season. And Memphis, much like the Rockets, should have an all-star. I don't believe you can have none of them on the 2 or the 3 seed. So that's the way that I would look at it. But at the same exact time, 21, 14, 7, 67% true shooting. Shit. Defensively, this year is having his best season. We get on it all the time on the podcast, and I'll forever be kind of etched away and I am a Sabonis critic because I don't believe that he's going to translate to the playoffs. But in the regular season, we're seeing right now that he is one of the most dominant centers, and this is one of the most productive center seasons in recent NBA history. So with that in mind, I can understand having above Triple J, and I would personally, but it doesn't seem right to have no all-stars in the team that's top 5 in offensive rating, top 5 in defensive rating, and top 5 in net rating as of a few days ago. So with the Grizzlies having that breakout year despite injuries across their entire roster, I don't know if you can leave Jaren Jackson off this year. I know there's a lot of competition in the front court, but he at least needs to get in as a replacement to me.
My thing is the replacement reserve.
Replacement at bare minimum.
Like an injury replacement?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I'm saying like as a reserve or a wild card, like I left him off.
Okay.
I understand what you're saying to reward winning, but when we did our ballots, like I said, I took narrative off. I understand we talk about winning, but my thing is impact to winning.
Yep.
How I feel about the Rockets and the Grizzlies, they're winning as a collective.
Agreed.
To me. They might have a main guy, like Şengün's the best guy, Jaren Jackson the best guy, but their impact to winning, like I told Justin, like a slice of pie, their impact on that slice of pie is not as big as like a Sabonis. It's not as big as like these other all-star guys that we're saying, like a Wemby. It's not as big. They're impacting the winning a lot, but the Grizzlies are a deep team.
Yep.
Deep as hell. One of the deepest in the league, if not the deepest.
Yep.
Same with the Rockets. And it sucks that it's a knock against them, but it is how it is. And that's how I feel. So Sabonis as an individual, he is carrying the Kings more than they would carry the Grizzlies, how they would carry the Rockets respectfully. When De'Aaron Fox went down, he was cooking.
Won 5 or 6 games without De'Aaron, if I'm not mistaken.
He was cooking. Absolutely, under Doug Christie. D Fox went down, I'm not going to lie. And that's when we was down in the dumps. We was trash. 6-7 games below 500. I thought, all right, we kind of cooked right now. This is going to look bad. He single-handedly brought us back up. Brought us right the fuck back up. Had a phenomenal game against quality competition, too. We wasn't playing no bums.
No.
Quality competition, quality bigs. He did it against Triple J. He did it against Bam. Quality wins. He did it, bro. He's having a phenomenal season. Respect to Triple J, he's doing his thing, but I just think Sabonis impacts the winning for his team much more than Triple J has this season. And I think he should be a lot more than Triple J should for reserve. If someone gets hurt, I'll call Triple J up first. Absolutely. But wild card and reserve, that's tough. Because like you said, for the front court, we're still missing Wemby, Sabonis. Who else? He's still competing with Şengün.
I would have Triple J to me has to be about Şengün.
I would take Triple J over Şengün as well. I'm trying to think who else is in competition as well.
Jalen Williams, the front court player. I would have him after Triple J.
Yeah. I said J-Dub goes after too.
Who else are we missing? We're missing 1 or 2 more. Gobert, I would easily have.
No. He's not in competition.
Yeah.
He's not in competition. I give a shout out to Trey Murphy. Great season. He's not in that combo though, low key.
Has he played enough games?
Trey Murphy?
Yeah.
It's close. I think he kind of has. It's kind of close.
We're forgetting one big one. This is where, well, my phone, if I had the standings, I go immediately found it.
This is why we have the map.
We got the map.
The map be clutch, bro. I'm
Trey
telling
Murphy
you.
played 29 games this year.
Not. So he doesn't.
And Norman Powell is a forward this year, technically. Because if he's a front court player, I'm not gonna lie, I would take him over.
He's
Şengün.
listed as shooting guard on Basketball Reference.
Damn.
Yeah.
Because if he was front court, I would take him over Şengün, low key.
He might be a guard.
Yes, I would definitely have Jaren as like the third forward.
He'll probably be the last forward spot.
Player.
He'll be the last spot then.
But he's having his best season of his career. He's put together, his second season, he shot 39% from 3. It's his best shooting season since then, between this year and last. But last year was kind of a lost season either way. And then you coalesce that with him being a defensive player of the year candidate.
I'm just throwing names out there because you guys.
Oh yeah, AD.
That's
shit.
An easy one.
Yeah,
so AD would be priority.
AD takes that last spot.
He would be probably.
They have to fight for the wild card, and wild card will be full of guards.
Yep. So
they'll be fighting with the guards for a wild card.
Yeah, I had Jaren in my wild card spot. I think the pie talk that you were talking about, I felt like it weighed more heavily on Şengün. I think Jaren Jackson does like have some type of part in that, but I feel like the impact he's had this year has just been on a different level. Because night in, night out, he looks like the number one player on that team, despite them being the deepest team or one of the deepest teams in the league. I just think with him, we see it like every single night. Like this motherfucker is like doing it. Like he looks like the number one player on the team. And I know Ja's probably the most popular one, But every night just watching the Grizzlies,
Thank you.
Jaren Jackson legitimately looks like the best player on that team.
They have so much depth, especially in the front court, but Zach Edey's missed a lot of time. Brandon Clark hasn't gotten enough minutes just because of how dominant he's been defensively.
Facts.
If you take him out of the picture for Memphis, that defense goes from top 5 to
Collapses.
probably bottom 10.
Yeah.
So that to me is what really separates him from maybe a Şengün.
Yeah.
But a lot of the guys do step up though.
They do.
The Grizzlies,
The opportunity's there.
They got a lot of guys.
Jay Huff's another one.
They'll take up guys off the street, let them suit up, and they'll contribute at that point in time. So that's the only thing. Like everybody, they will step in and they'll step up, contribute. They got a lot of guys who do their thing. They're a really deep team, and like I said, Jaren Jackson's still the number one guy on the team. It's just that as a collective, though, like they're the deepest team. Everyone's really doing their part to help these guys win. And again, still, I'm going to keep bitching about it. Bro, please get your rebounds up. I'm still waiting for the 8 rebound game. I'm still waiting for 8 rebounds per game in the season.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
I don't know if he's getting there.
I need it. I need it just once.
Yeah.
I need it just once. I've heard the excuses for his whole career, bro. I need it just once, bro. This whole excuses of, okay, well, he's got the center behind him. Like, bro, Emo, he's in the same position as you, where he's got this dominant rebounder behind him. Like, come on, man. Cat was in the same position with the Timberwolves. You could easily get 8. Just go in the trenches and get your 8 boards, bro.
5 sometimes. I think he had 5 last night. I'm like, damn. It's crazy.
Earlier in the season, remember, I told you he was getting out-rebounded by Desmond Bane at one point in the season. Now he's over him, but still, it's like, come on, man. Get to that 8, bro. I'm begging you.
That's one of the biggest mysteries in basketball. I've never been able to understand why a 6'11" center has never averaged over 7.5.
That's just that pisses me off personally.
There's really not much to explain it other than the fact he's just not a good rebounder. Because at that height, he's often away from the rim. He's kind of roaming more often than not too. So you can say, okay, he's 15 feet from the basket, but at that size, you can easily clear up that ground. So I don't. I can't really explain that. I can tell you offensively, he's not going to get as many offensive rebounds, but defensively, it's always been a mystery. But the Grizzlies have always been a good rebounding team, so I'll let it slide because that's what makes them a contender in many ways. That's why they're a little sneak peek. Might be in my top 5 contenders. They're a team that wins in the margins when it comes to taking care of the ball, winning in transition, getting offensive rebounds, and finding, much like the Houston Rockets, I think they're one and the same in that aspect. They may not have the most dynamic and prolific half-court offense, but they're going to beat you in every other aspect of the game they cut up for it.
Yeah, shouts to the Grizzlies, like you said, contender, really deep team, but for whatever reason, some guys just don't want to play there for whatever reason. Great opportunities over there, could definitely win a championship, incredible pieces, but for whatever reason, that's the one team you don't want to go to. Which transitions to Jimmy Butler talks, Justin. The one and only team that he doesn't want to play for is Memphis.
Which is weird.
Out of any team, Memphis. Which kind of made me question, why not Memphis? And I'm trying to look at everything. I'm questioning, is it John Morant? Is it that you think they can't pay you? Is it that you think they're not good enough? But then, to answer all these questions, they're not good enough answers. Because, like, if it's about winning, well, this is one of the best winning positions you could put yourself in to win a championship.
Yep.
You really think that the Suns or, like, the Bucks, for example, will put you in a better position to win? You go here, you have one of the best chances to win, by far. Payment, like, no matter what, no matter where you go, you're going to get paid if you do your job. And you go, if you win here, you could go somewhere else. If you win anywhere, no matter where you go, you could leave and go wherever else you want and get paid if you prove yourself wherever you go. Yeah. You go and you win a championship in Memphis, you could leave and get paid. So I don't know what it is, what his deal is. Like you mentioned earlier in the show, already suspended, lost mad bread, millions of dollars. But for whatever reason, this man is more willing to go to Charlotte. He's more willing to go to Washington. He's more willing to go to New Orleans. He will go anywhere but Memphis.
How about Minnesota?
He will go to Minnesota. He'll go back to Minnesota. He'll come to New York and play with Cat again. He'll go back to Philly. But he won't go to Memphis. Do you guys have any sort of speculation to think why he won't go to Memphis? Because I try to think so hard, trying to come up with different questions like, why not Memphis? And I tried to come up with some shit, and it's just like, I can't come to a fucking answer. I just can't.
I'll tell you one thing. The Grizzlies can make it happen. This is a team, you highlighted before, they can consolidate a lot of this depth they have. And they have a lot of contracts like Marcus Smart and Luke Kennard who they can kind of put together, and you can easily make a Jimmy Butler trade happen. I don't know if this is an exact report you're looking at where he won't go. I do believe if he got traded to the Grizzlies, he would not pull an Andre Iguodala.
He would.
He would play to me because this is a top 3 seed, and this is a team with an elite coach and Taylor Jenkins, and it's a team with an elite culture. And when you talk about Heat culture, which is a real thing, after them, it's a short list of teams that have that same exact level of camaraderie and accountability down from 1 to 15. So I do believe that he would play there, and instantly at that 3 spot alongside Bane and John Moran and Jaren, that would make them, to me, absolutely a tier A contender, because in the playoffs, he just adds even more. And I feel like they always needed that tough, clutch shot making down the stretch in the half court. He can easily bring that alongside job. But I guess to answer that question, he's trying to strong arm the Miami Heat, right? And the Heat with Pat Riley have a lot of hubris. This is a franchise that is not going to lose a battle with the star player, because this is a team that has, for the longest time, done things their sort of way, right? And I think at the end of the day, with Jimmy Butler having a player option, he's going to win this. The player who has an say, who's going to be in free agency in 5-6 months, that's the player who always gets the last say. So to me, I believe it comes down to one thing. He just wants to go to Phoenix. That's the number one reason, because he looks at Devin Booker and Kevin Durant and says, I'm the missing piece here. Now, do I agree? Do I believe that? No. I don't believe Yusuf Nurkic and Tyus Jones starting, that you plop in Jimmy Butler in their tier A contender. I do believe they would be a team that can get past the first round playoffs and they can give you a competitive second round series. But I don't believe they would be better than the Grizzlies, just because, yes, that big 3 would fit so well together. And Jimmy Butler brings what Bradley Beal does not. If you take Beal and you plop him in Miami and they swap roles. But the fact of the matter is that even bringing in Nick Richards, who had a great game the other night, I don't believe that the Suns have a high enough level of quality enough center to really go up against Nikola Jokic in the playoffs, or even a team like Oklahoma City with Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein together. And that's a team that, they can beat them with Yusuf Nurkic starting at 5. No way to me. But Jimmy Butler, I believe, looks at Mike Budenholzer coming in and just their top 2 stars. And I feel like living in Phoenix isn't a bad thing either. And he probably would rather have that. That being said, I do agree with you. The top 2 destinations to me would be Memphis. After that, it would be Phoenix at number 2. But I think one more team that would be fun, and it won't happen because I believe they shouldn't make a big move, it would be Cleveland. I would wonder what it'd be like if you add in Jimmy Butler to plop onto a Jason Tatum in the playoffs opposed to Karis LeVert, and now I can give Evan Mobley the luxury to roam opposed to having to defend Jason Tatum for 48 minutes,
And that's funny because before even the reports, like the initial report where he said the places he didn't want to go,
right?
That's what we said. We said, damn, if he goes to Memphis, they're automatically a contender.
Yeah.
It's just them and OKC.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that was
and
before.
Denver.
That's before. Yeah.
Denver.
And Denver
I would
too.
throw
And
Dallas
Denver.
when they get healthy too.
No,
I
I'm not gonna lie.
I think you're lying.
No.
Yeah.
No, Dallas is not banging with them. I ain't gonna lie. Dallas is not banging with them.
Fully healthy Dallas.
Fully healthy Dallas is not banging with them, bro.
Why?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bro. They're too, bro. Memphis is too deep, and like you just said before, with all the intangibles they already got, with that deep ass roster they got, and the defense, they could be able to shut down Dallas. I truly believe it. They're
Dallas
able
is
to
a
shut
deep
them
roster
down.
too.
They got a deep ass roster too. But when you add Jimmy Butler to a roster like this, they could shut them down. Bro.
Right, but if you add in Jimmy, you're still taking out 3 rotation players. Maybe that's a better thing, to go from 13 rotation players to 10.
Yeah,
they have a lot of injuries, which make that easier. But with the Mavericks getting a healthy Luka back, with Kyrie playing as well as he has, and their bench, Najee Marshall, Quentin Grimes, and then you go down the board, basically 1 through 9 stepping up, you have to put the Mavericks in that top 4. Because to me, a healthy Mavericks team makes for 4 contenders in the West. If you're going to include the Grizzlies, that is, in this theoretical scenario. So.
I think the Grizzlies will be a tier above them. I think the Mavericks are always a wild card in terms of playoffs to when it comes to like what's going to happen. They could flame out or they could go super far. That's what we've seen so far when it comes to their playoff runs. But with this, Jimmy Butler on the Grizzlies, they've been consistent second round exits so far with these different iterations of teams. Like you guys have already said, this could be the key to unlock that next step for them. As you already said, maybe them losing that depth could be, like I just said, that next key. When it comes to the playoffs, yeah, being a deep team could be cute once in a while, but it's cute for the regular season. When it gets down and dirty, you're really limiting it to 8, 9 guys. You're not using
Celtics,
18.
Celtics won 7 last
Yeah,
year.
you're not using 13 guys. You're not using 13 guys. You're using 8, 7 guys, at most 9 guys.
Yeah.
You don't need 11. So cut them guys out and bring in Jimmy Butler. And you're going to have a complete roster. You're going to have that defense. You're going to have that offense. You're going to have that guy who you could depend on to go down in that 5-minute stretch. Just like how they got Luka on that other side and Kyrie on the other side for the last 5 minutes, you could go to Jimmy Butler. All due respect to John Morant. He's incredible. But for that last 5 minutes, I'd rather trust Jimmy Butler in the playoffs than John Morant. And I hate to say it because I love John Morant's talent, but you kind of got to prepare just in case if he goes down. Unfortunately, we've seen him go down numerous times. It's kind of a trend in his career. If he goes down, what better feels safe in the playoffs than Jimmy Butler?
Yeah.
That's a great take. Here's the one pushback that I have. If you got Dallas and the Grizzlies in a playoff series, and we're going to a game 7, we got Luka and Kyrie on one side versus Jimmy Butler and John Morant. I'm a John Morant guy. I believe Jimmy Butler would play better than what he's been this year if he goes to Memphis. But I am not going up against the Mavericks and taking the Grizzlies.
I'm not betting against Luka, bro, especially in a game 7.
No, I understand. All right, so let me do this then. Who's leaving to bring in Jimmy Butler?
Marcus Smart, Luke Kennard. Now that salary is roughly. Oh, don't put me on the spot here. I don't got no spreadsheet.
I'm trying to think, Justin. Who else will leave? Luke Kennard, Marcus Smart. I'm just trying to think off the top of the dome. Scottie Pippen Jr. strikes me as a Heat.
Damn, that would suck.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That was gonna be a major part of my argument.
That would suck.
He's gone.
That's gonna that just fucked me over.
Jimmy's on half a year left. So how much value does he have?
Scottie Pippen Jr. would be a big key to my argument in terms of that playoff series.
I'm looking at the salaries now.
I do believe you have to get up one quality young player, and Pat Riley's asking for him.
Because Scottie Pippen Jr. I think is going to be a demon in the playoffs.
Scottie Pippen Jr. is making $2 million. Luke Kennard's making $9 million. Marcus Smart's making 20.
Well, obviously, Marcus
20
Smart's
flat?
Yeah.
He's like 20.2.
20 point, okay.
Yeah.
So we're looking at 30 right there. We need how much more? Because Jimmy's at like 48.
You need like...
If you could pull up the Grizzlies' payroll...
Jimmy's at 48.7. Yeah.
48.7. Okay, so we're going to need to make up like basically another like 15 million. Let's get a third team involved.
Damn.
Brandon Clark, his salary might cut that if you can.
Where the fuck is Brandon?
Yeah, throw him.
Brandon Clark is at 12.5 million.
Throw him away.
So now we're looking at...
No disrespect. Throw him away.
That's
42.
Yeah.
Throw him away.
Yeah, Clark's gone. Yeah. He would be actually perfect in Miami too.
Throw him away. Throw him away.
Yeah.
Throw him away.
He's one of those Heat guys that falls out
the
lottery.
42. Throw him if we could keep Scotty, bro.
Would you throw John Conchar in there too?
Yo, as long as we could keep Scotty,
he's at
bro.
6 million.
6, yeah, he's in.
Yeah, he's in there.
So we're talking about
let us keep
Marcus
Scotty.
Smart, Brandon Clark, John Conchar, and Luke Kennard. They're gone. That's fine. Those are probably the 4 least essential pillars of that rotation.
And we keep Scotty. Oh yeah, we good.
But
we good.
You got to put in something for the Heat to make it.
I know.
If the Heat are going to trade him to another team, they're not going to let him walk. You have to make it worth their while. So if I'm Pat Riley, the way I'm looking at this is I want Scottie Pippen and I want a first round pick.
But at the same
you're
time,
going to rebuff that.
I'm
getting one of those two.
But also at the same time, if I'm Memphis, bro, he wants to fucking leave. You got no leverage. He wants to fucking leave.
Scottie Pippen in 2 seconds.
That's the other thing. He wants to fucking leave. You got no leverage. He wants to leave regardless. He don't want to be there. You got to give him up for something.
Charles Barkley said it on TNT. He's like, if you get into it with Pat Riley, you're going to lose.
Listen,
you're going to lose, bro.
I think this might be the first time he might lose, Pat. I'll be honest with you.
You think so?
He got to give up, bro. I ain't going to lie.
Jimmy,
you got to give up a battle, bro.
Now, this is Memphis. You talked about it before. It's the smallest market in India. My leverage is that if you're not going to give me Scottie Pippen Jr., well, then we're going to let him test for agency, and Jimmy Butler's never going to play for you guys, and you're going to continue being a second-round exit.
Sheesh.
So you want to give me Scottie Pippen and 2 second-round picks? You want to basically test your luck in free agency?
I'm not going to lie. I low-key still want to keep Scotty, bro.
I would love to keep Scotty.
I want to keep Scotty. I don't want to throw Scotty in that deal, bro, because like you said, if he leaves in free agency and now you're out of luck with Scotty, then it's like, yeah,
How about Gigi Jackson, the first-round pick? 2026.
Yeah, I might think I'm bugging.
You got a 26 first round pick. It was that top 10 protect.
Yeah, I might think I'm bugging. I'd rather go with GG than Scotty.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think you're bugging for that.
I'd rather go GG.
Scottie Pippen's been fantastic.
I'd rather go
GG is got more upside, but I don't know if he
does.
realizes that in Memphis.
Yes.
In a place like Miami, where there's a boatload of opportunity and you're taking out Jimmy Butler, you got to put something back in. He would develop. I mean, I'll be real. Jaime Jaquez this year, he's had a sophomore slump. He's been mad disappointed. I've been kind of underwhelmed with his long-term projection. He's 24 years old. Yeah. To me, Gigi Jackson would be the type of young player that like to build around him over a Jaime or a Jovic. So yeah, you give me Gigi and like a protected first-round pick. Yeah, you got Jimmy.
I'll do it.
You keep Scottie Pippen as your backup card.
I'm keeping Scottie.
Because I agree. I don't think Gigi could reach his potential in Memphis because with everything they got going on. But with the whole Jimmy situation with like him not wanting to go to Memphis,
I think, like clearly reported.
So I have it here. This is from Mark Spears was talking about it on ESPN. He was saying that he was told by a close source that on his wish list, he said any team out of Miami with the exception of Memphis. So he doesn't want Memphis in there as well. But he said wherever he does go, he would like to finish his career there.
No, but
Phoenix, I think he's so enamored with Phoenix just because I feel like
the names, bro.
The names, and I feel like he probably thinks that Ishbia is stupid enough to actually pay him like he wants.
Yeah, Ishbia just be shooting money at that host.
Yeah, and you might as well because you went all in to do that. You might as well do it. So he probably sees it from that perspective. But to me, for him to just say fuck Memphis entirely, I think it's stupid just because I think they probably give you the best chance to win. I didn't really think about the Cleveland option. That one actually sounds good.
We talked about it a couple weeks ago.
We did.
When the trade first came up, we talked about it. I think we did. We've been saying like they've needed the small forward forever.
Forever.
They would have to give up like 4 rotation players though.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'd be willing to do that.
I think for Cleveland, I'd rather them get
the Cam
Johnson.
I'd rather
but
Cam.
For Memphis, I think Jimmy should really look into that because that gives him the best opportunity to win. And we said it maybe like 2 episodes ago. I think if he could go there and play like solid enough, even if he might not stay in Memphis, I think other teams could look and see what he did in Memphis in a potential ECF maybe finals run. Philly. And another team will look at that and be like, shit, you still got some shit left in you in the tank.
Right.
We'll throw you some bread.
He had a half year in Philadelphia where he delegated to Embiid and it didn't work out. But in that playoff run, Jimmy was the best and most important player. I don't give a shit what you say. I watched Marc Gasol put Embiid in a straitjacket. It was honestly a valiant display of post defense. You go back and watch, he did everything right. And that half year kind of made people realize, all right, Jimmy wasn't necessarily the problem. And they were like, yeah, you know what, we'll make this, I don't know if it's sign and trade, but we're going to make this max contract and give it to him.
I think it was a sign and trade because I think Josh Richardson.
Yeah. Yep.
But I told him 2 episodes ago, I'm like, Jimmy Butler's more concerned about selling coffee in Miami than fucking wanting to play for a contender.
Yeah.
That like you said though, like we've been saying it for a minute, like, bro, just be open-minded wherever you end up. Like, fuck it. Be open-minded wherever you end up. Do your thing. And then go test free agency.
Yep.
Wherever you get paid, you're going to get paid.
Yeah.
But if you take somewhere, any team far enough, people, like you just said, they're going to be impressed and say, wow, you could still do some shit.
Right.
We'll throw you a bag, whether it be a Phoenix, whether
and
it be a Houston, whether it be a wherever. He doesn't
even have to be playoff Jimmy if he goes to Memphis. Because I feel like there's a situation where he could go to Phoenix and he plays cool and they get bounced in round 1 and they're like, okay,
I don't think that moves the needle.
They're not doing nothing in Phoenix.
It makes them much more likely to win a round 1 series.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take them to that next level.
Yeah.
Now, I do think one team, maybe this is a little bit out there because there's 2 teams. 2 spots I like a lot for him are Atlanta because you have Jalen, you have this kind of core of young guys. And I think DeAndre Hunter's not really that long-term piece. I would like to see Jimmy alongside Jalen and Trae Young. And the other spot that I like a lot for him is San Antonio with Wemby. Now, I don't know if they will look to the Spurs. This is invest in Jimmy over a point guard, but I would like to see him a lot in that. Because you look at what Atlanta's building with Zach Ricochet at that 2 through 4. You got Jalen at that 3 through 4. You got Jimmy at that 3. If you put that much wing to-way versatility alongside Trae Young, I believe the Hawks would be a real threat.
Nah, wait a second. We got to run that shit back. You would rather have Jimmy in there instead of DeAndre Hunter? He's having a good season.
He's having a great year. He's a 6-man of the year candidate. And a most improved candidate. I don't know if they're going to keep Hunter long term just because of the fact they have Ricochet, they have Jalen Johnson, and then you have Dyson Daniels, of course.
But regardless, I'd rather have that as an option than Jimmy.
You would rather have DeAndre Hunter straight up.
Yes, than Jimmy Butler.
With the year he's having, I could see that. But my two questions are, one is injuries, because he's been hurt every time he's had one of these breakout years. He had it 3 years ago when we went to the conference finals, I believe, that 2021 season.
Yeah.
And then it happened again this year where after 2 games, he went down. But I don't know if the Hawks are going to give him that long-term extension because of how much young talent they have behind him.
Of course.
He's a six-man for them.
But the other thing, too, is if injuries are concerned, when was the last time Jimmy's played 60 games?
He hasn't in Miami, has he?
He hasn't. Because when we talked about this, we've talked about this numerous times. Right. Whenever we talk about Jimmy, it's been many fucking years since he's played even 60.
It might have been Chicago the last time. I have to double check that.
He's done it before. He's
16-17 season, he played 76 games.
That was the last time he played that many games. It's been that long.
I like Hunter a lot. And honestly, I would keep Hunter too. But what I think that Atlanta does, this is a new front office with it's Corver and the Landry Fields, the guy that played on the Knicks. Yeah. Their front office did not draft DeAndre Hunter. That was the previous regime. And since then, they put the first round pick, their first overall pick, into a small forward. They got Dyson Daniels, who's a really small forward.
Incredible.
And then, of course, you have Jalen, who's a 4. So where does that leave DeAndre Hunter, who came from a different front office? That, to me, is what leads me to believe they may look to move Hunter now when he's having this career season, 19 a game, super efficient. Trust me, he's been great this year. I feel like he's maybe the only player that's in the, honestly, 6-man of the year talks and most improved, top 3. But if I'm the Hawks, I'm looking to take that next step and have one last push before I maybe consider rebuilding. I wonder if Jimmy Butler would kind of be an option that they go after. Now, I don't think they should move Hunter, but I could see that happening because they have enough cap space with all these guys on their rookie deals.
My thing is, though, if I was to move Hunter, though, I see where you're going, though, with the vision. I see the vision. But if I was to move Hunter, it wouldn't be for Jimmy, though. Yeah. It wouldn't be for Jimmy. And even if they were to make a move for Jimmy and it didn't involve DeAndre Hunter, it's not moving me. It's not moving me.
I'm not even thinking of moving Hunter to Miami. I'm thinking of moving Hunter for center and then going out and getting Jimmy.
That's exactly the hole that I was talking about addressing. Will be the center because Onyeka's cool.
He's solid. He's a good backup.
We've given him so many years. We've given him so much grace throughout his career, and we're like, when is he gonna get the chance? When is he gonna get the chance? Never gotten it really. Clint is getting old. At this point, just get a good star tier center, low star tier center. You feel me? That's
They're not getting Jared Allen. They're not getting Jared Allen because the Cavs are not moving him.
That's what I'm saying.
They would. If I were them, my first call would be DeAndre Hunter in the first round pick for Jared Allen. They're not going to get that done, but that would be my vision if I were the Hawks front office.
That's the dream.
Yeah,
Jared
Allen and Trey might be perfect together.
That would be the dream, but I definitely would have moved DeAndre Hunter for no Jimmy Butler. And even then, if you just for whatever reason just put Jimmy on Atlanta, it's not moving me over Cleveland. It's not moving me over Boston. Obviously, it's not moving me over New York.
It's moving me over Philly and Milwaukee.
I mean, Philly sucks.
Philly's not even in the combo. I'm talking next season.
Oh, next season? I guess if
I'm thinking
Jimmy
next
was to
year.
stay.
Okay. Yeah.
But
even then, you got McCain healthy. If Embiid's 85% of MVP Embiid, I can talk myself back into Philly being relevant. I don't know,
man. Paul George is still there.
He is, but you know what? I'll still take Paul George in a new season with a revitalized core over this year Paul George, who's been one of the most disappointing players. I mean, he has to win that award this year. It's honestly not even really a conversation. It's got to be PJ.
Man, Paul George has been... I'm not going to do it.
I feel like we haven't talked about him in a while.
I've refused to.
There's nothing to talk about.
I refuse to, I've bullied him enough in the past. There's no point. There's no point, you feel me? He's down. You don't want to kick someone when they're down.
No.
You want to punch up.
No.
You don't want to punch down, I don't want to punch down. He's down. He's not even averaging 20. There's no point. You feel me? I'm going to leave him alone.
You might get that Henny bottle.
No, it's guaranteed. Yeah. For reference, our friend Dequan was here preseason. Eastern Conference predictions.
Right.
We made a bet over a bottle, and he's a big Paul George fan.
Oh, no.
He thought I was crazy. I said, if Paul George doesn't average 20 points, you owe me a bottle. He said, oh, fuck yeah, I'm going to make that bet. He was so sure. I was so confident he wasn't going to average 20. Paul George is already down to 17
And
points.
it can't be 19.9.
It has to be straight 20. It has to start with a 2.
If they shut
it's cooked. It's over.
They're going to shut him down. If they weren't shutting him down, then I think he can get back there. But they're gonna shut him down. No way.
I don't think so. He's at 17 right now. It's about to be February. At this point, how much do you have to feasibly average from here to like April?
He has to go on like a little stretch, like in a month where he averages like.
He would literally have to average like 30 for 2 months.
He would have to have like a Jalen Green March type
like,
shit.
Obviously, I would have to do the math.
He would have to average like 24.
Nah, he got to do more than that. From 17?
If he plays the rest of the season.
He would have to average like 28 for like a good month and a half to get close. He has to ball, bro, and I doubt it.
We're a little bit past the midway point.
Yeah.
I would say 24, 25. If he plays the rest of the way. If he gets shut down, high 20s.
He could get shut down.
He might.
But they don't got their first round pick.
I think it's top
five. Top six.
Top
yeah,
six.
You're right. Yep. So that's even more reason to shut him down.
Yeah.
So
free bottle. I'm waiting on it. I'm definitely gonna be waiting on that one, bro. That's all I'll say.
And
bro.
plus, all the teams above Philly is like, it's there's kind of a gap there.
Yeah. No, they have no chance. It's over. Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
At this point, it's over. I mean, they try to put a fight. It's over. We don't know what's going on with Embiid. We already lost Jared McCain a long time ago.
Yeah.
Tyrese Maxey's trying to fight for his life, just not working out.
The downfall is sweet.
Yeah, I mean, he hates Philly. Yeah. To me, I mean, Philly's just there. He fucking hates the Sixers. Though.
It's the playoff series that amplified it. That's really it.
Yeah, no, it's over for them.
Yeah,
it's a good run. It's all right.
Good run.
It was all right.
Good run.
It started off terrible. They didn't even have hope. They didn't even have no.
Oh no, I'm talking about like the Embiid era.
Oh, the Embiid era.
I'm not talking about this season. I'm not talking about this season.
Man. If they never touch that Eastern Conference Final, bro,
they're not gonna.
That documentary, whether it's a professional one or a YouTube one, that shit's gonna be like legendary. It's gonna be one of a kind.
I'll probably make a list of everything I've done in life before Embiid touched the conference final.
It's crazy. All jokes aside, it really is crazy because he'll be the only MVP not to do it if he really doesn't get there.
It'd be embarrassing. I hope he never makes it there too.
Wow.
I really do.
That's electric.
Mitchell Robinson, we don't have him still because of him.
Yeah, that's true. It's
crazy.
Yeah, I'm still salty about that too. I was kind of fucked up.
And he kicked Hartenstein in the nuts. I will not forget that.
No, Embiid be making some of the most subtle, dirty plays in the NBA. Not even close. Now, I think the last MVP that hasn't touched a conference finals, McAdoo won a championship. Bob McAdoo. That was 76.
Everyone's done it though, statistically.
Every single one. At that point in time, I get So he really is.
Embiid is the one and only one. Like, I guess if you want to say like as the guy, then there's certain ones where you could
there's a few
plug and play around and like fuck around. Like at the end of their career, like fine, it's like the eighth man.
Yep.
But legitimately speaking, Embiid is the one and only one who has gone to the conference final. Like Steve Nash never made it to the final. Conference final.
Mm-hmm.
D Rose did it.
D Rose conference
Nash
final.
should have won to the finals too.
He should have. He really should have. Dirk champion.
Didn't get checked to that scores table.
Yeah, I'm so salty about that. And he should have went 2010 as well.
Yeah.
He should have won 2010.
The 2010 team was legit.
I wish. I really do wish. Chuck went to the finals. You feel me? Like you go through all these MVPs. Everyone's done it. Just not Embiid. It's fucking crazy.
You guys think Embiid should have won MVP in 2023?
No.
Good. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. No, Jokic should have 4. I don't want to glaze. I really don't. But it's going to sound like glaze because he really does get better and better and better every season. And even though Shea has an MVP case, I'll low-key still give it to Jokic, right?
Oh, yeah.
I would still give it to him. Legitimately, if I was a voter, I would have him 5, Pete. That's how incredible
LeBron
he's been.
didn't even 5.
That's what I'm saying. Because of D Rose, though. Let's be real. But we're not going to open that can of worms because I know he'll get mad at me. But legitimately, Jokic should 5 MVPs. And that shit got fucked up.
It did get fucked up. And you want to know why it got fucked up? It was because people held playoff reputation and playoff success against Jokic, which made zero sense.
Which made zero sense because
at that point in time, Embiid had done nothing in the playoffs. And the best team he had ever been in the playoffs was the Raptors with Siakam as their best player in 2022. He had never been in the conference finals. Jokic went to the conference finals his second year, even his first year in the playoffs. They were knocking on the door against Portland before they went in 2019. And at that point in time, Jokic was a great playoff performer. Embiid was far from that. So I remember making videos that year and saying, I think Embiid's got a case. I think Giannis has a case. But it still should be Jokic. And part of my reasoning was, and I talk about this with football, with Lamar Jackson this year and Josh Allen. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. It's a regular season award, but recency bias is a hell of a drug. And at the end of the day, if a player's never done anything in the playoffs and you give him a third MVP before he gets there, his reputation will be ruined by that third MVP.
Thank you.
And that's why Josh Allen this year, he wasn't my MVP for that reason, but that was my supporting argument, which will look right. And the NBA, I think it was the same exact case a few years ago. And that's not even a Lamar this because he's a Hall of Fame player in his own right. But in this case, with Jokic versus Embiid in that season, I was saying, and this was cut and dry, the Nuggets are winning the championship that January because they put together the perfect team, but it was all really narrative driven, which is the MVP basically every other season.
Yeah.
But you have to recognize greatness when it's in front of you. And for years, nobody did that with Nikola Jokic, and now they're paying it. I mean, right now we're looking at Nikola Jokic. We're going to get into our contenders in a little bit. We're watching a top 10 peak of all time. And by the end of his career, look, I don't know how this year's going to shake out. I know the Nuggets are playing their best basketball at a good time right now in January. If he gets that second championship, he is immediately catapulted into that top 12, right with Hakeem Olajuwon. He needs a few more years, of course, a few more All-NBA seasons because Hakeem had 10 to 14. Steph obviously has had so many, but he catapults right into that tier at the second championship. And I feel like he should have, this year he's my MVP frontrunner. I feel like he should have his, I felt like you're right. You're hitting the nail on the head. He really should be on his way to 5 and not 4.
It really is. He's been robbed, bro. He really has been robbed. And since you said it, bro, like, he's already in my top 15, which sounds
He's in my top 20.
He's in my top 15 already.
He's got that case.
1 ring already. I know you said 12. It puts him in that 10. An MVP and a ring puts him in that 10.
Right.
Yeah.
It puts him in that 10.
But Hakeem's got 1 MVP, he's got 2 finals MVP, he's got depoy, and he's got more longevity.
2 depoys.
Hakeem's my gatekeeper at 10. And I told Justin that 1 more ring, even fuck another MVP, 1 more ring puts him over Hakeem. Hakeem is really that gatekeeper. That extra ring just puts him in.
They put him over Shaq, who has an MVP, and then 3 finals MVPs.
I don't know.
4th championship. I can't say that yet.
That would be close.
I can't put him over Shaq just yet. Because Shaq still has more longevity. We're talking about double-digit All-NBA seasons. He might be at 14. He's at least at 10. Whereas with Jokic, he's getting there, but we have to see the career play out, of course. But right now, this peak that we're watching, offensively speaking, it is maybe 2 names that are pulling up above him. Maybe 2 names. And even then, it's MJ and it's LeBron. Even then, I'm ready to put him right in that top 2. I might be ready to put him in some conversations, but I'm not going to overlook what the 2 greatest players of all time have done.
He already answered my question because I was about to say, so I was going to ask you about 2 guys, better offensive peaks. And it was about to involve Curry and Durant. He already answered it, though. Because I feel like a lot of people aren't ready for that conversation due to nostalgia bias. Mm-hmm. I think offensively, it's going to sound wild. I think he's cleared Curry. I think he's cleared Durant. And those are 2 of the best offensive players of all time. Yeah. I think Jokic is already wiping them because of how fantastic. We just saw this guy who's already, I think, top 5 in 3-point percentage. Not even care. He still takes the full court heaves. Mm-hmm. He just took one and made it. And he didn't care. And it didn't affect his percentage. He doesn't care. He's still taking the heaves and he's still top 5 in 3-point percentage. A lot of these guys don't take those heaves. No. He's still doing it and still at the top. He's averaging 30 efficiently and getting more efficient year after year after year. And then going along with 10 assists, taking care of the ball. How much better can he get? Because every single year, I'm really thinking to myself, what more can he do? I really thought to myself, can this guy really average 30? He's doing it.
Can this guy really lead the league in 3-point percentage? Yeah. Worst opponents doing that, but Jokic and him are 1 and 2.
But the thing is,
correct me if I'm wrong.
The thing is, too, and I love Sabonis a lot.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Jokic is taking way more attempts, but a decent amount more attempts. Yeah, like Sabonis is only taking 3.
It's like 2.8 or something.
Yeah, we're gonna round up to 3 because that's my boy.
We'll give him 3.
We'll give him 3 because that's my boy. But Jokic is taking 5. I'm pretty sure.
He's taking 4.3.
Okay. He's taking 4. Then you feel me? Yeah. He's just doing everything, bro. That an offensive player, you could ask from an offensive player and from the center position.
Yep.
What more can he do?
I got him above Magic, Steph, and KD as an offensive performer, and even Larry. people will say, all right, like I've had so many people, old timers, be like, listen, like, hey, you're young, you didn't get to see the. At the end of the day, to me, what it comes down to is Jokic is an even better passer, and then as a scorer, he's the best scorer in the world. Best scorer, he's arguably the best playmaker. I would say that he is the best playmaker. We haven't seen that. We have not seen that.
Let me ask you the sensitive question then. This is going to be the one.
I'll apologize to LeBron. We have maybe seen that, but
this is the one that gets everybody sensitive as fuck. And there's a question for you too, Justin, but I really want him to answer first because this is the one that gets interesting. Would you put him over Kobe with another championship? Kobe is the one that people get really sensitive over. People have him anywhere from top 3 to like number 12.
Yeah. His range varies more than any other player.
More than anyone else, right?
Yep.
Well, first of all, do you have him over Kobe already?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
What would you say another championship puts him over?
Considering the fact, I think Kobe should have 2 MVPs, only has 1. Kobe has 2 Finals MVPs. He has 5 championships. Kobe has the all-defensive teams. Now, a good amount of those, don't know if he was as deserving. My answer to that question, with 2 more All-NBA seasons, 3 more All-NBA seasons, you get him to like 8. I think the answer is yes. Now, if he wins a championship this year, I think he'll be neck and neck with Kobe. But honestly, I do believe that with Kobe's longevity, Jokic had to put together 3 more. Up until like 2028, he needs to get to at least 8 All-NBA, 9, high, close to 10, because I value longevity quite a bit. And also 5 championships. I know people will say in Kobe's first couple, especially the first 2, in 2000, 2001, that he wasn't a superstar at that point. It wasn't until necessarily the end of 01, the start of 02 that he was. But at the end of the day, I'm a Kobe guy. I still feel like Jokic needs more longevity with a ring. So not yet. I wouldn't.
Well, I'm the Kobe critic here on the show.
Okay.
I would say he was a superstar though in the 2000 and 2001 season though.
Yeah, by the end.
He was a superstar. I could give him that. He was a top 5 player by that point in time. Especially by the playoffs, definitely.
In the playoffs, he had his moments to get to that top 5. Definitely top 10.
Especially in the West. Finals, always Shaq. Every single time, always Shaq. But 2001 and 2002, the West specifically, goes to Kobe. Finals, though, every single time was Shaq. That's what I
forget which year it was where Shaq went down and Kobe had
2000.
in the finals.
That was 2000 against Indiana.
Game 3.
That was
4.
Game 4.
4.
When Shaq
fouled out. I'm going to have to fact check myself.
Yeah,
Game 4, 2000.
Shaq fouled out, yeah.
Got you.
Against the Pacers. What about you, Justin? Is he over Kobe? And if not, what does he have to do?
With another MVP and ring?
Just ring.
I was going to say, you give him the 4th MVP. Okay, you give him the 4th MVP in the second ring, my tune does change.
I think just the ring. Because the MVP, because at a certain time, like, you need the winning. You feel me? Like, the trophies with the MVPs, like, it's cool. But at a certain point, you got to start backing up with the rings. You feel me? You need multiple. The one is not going to cut it to really be in that, inner circle.
Yeah.
So you could have 5 MVPs, but if you got 1 championship, I'm kind of looking at you crazy.
Nah, if he gets another ring, and I'm thinking, I'm low-key adding the MVP in there because it's not a done deal with this race. Like, he's still very well in the race. I would probably put him ahead. I know it probably sounds crazy, but we're talking about a potential 4-time MVP, and we just talked about it. One of the best offensive players of all time. And his story's not done yet, but shit, the resume that he has already on top of the remaining years, I don't think he's going to like slow down and just fall off a cliff.
No.
I don't think so at all. I think this is going to continue to keep going. I really think he could do it. Kobe's longevity is good. A lot of it kind of I feel like it gets kind of hazy because the beginning having to come off the bench and all that, he wasn't really a superstar yet. And then towards the end, a lot of injuries and people kind of just like, we talked about it last episode, he had the undeserved all-stars like at the end. So there's a lot of shit in between. Some years missing the playoffs. With Jokic is like him just being there, despite we saw it since 2019, playoff team against San Antonio, against Portland that first year, weren't necessarily ready yet. that next year in the bubble, taking down the Clippers and going to the conference finals, battling with the Lakers.
Yep.
And then unfortunately we saw Jamal Murray go down and they lost to the Suns. And then the year after that, no Murray, no Porter.
Right.
Fucking Facundo Campazzo and Austin Rivers were starting. That team was a playoff team.
Yeah.
I
48
think
wins,
I think that in
46.
itself is a fucking accomplishment to even make that team a top 6
He almost
team.
took 2 games from Golden State.
Yeah, that was fucking insane.
Yep.
And then finally, and that year too, like people criticizing him because he hadn't won without even thinking about the injuries of that team, which is ridiculous because the very next year when he gets his guys back, they win the NBA Finals.
Right.
And now we see it now, and we talked about it all summer. This team, they're a victim to the second apron. They've lost a lot of key players, and it's hurt them. And we saw a little bit early on in the year where they kind of hit like a little rough patch as a team.
Oh, yeah.
But now they're starting to put it together.
Right.
We see Westbrook is playing really great.
His best complimentary basketball since Houston.
Surprising.
Yeah.
I had to.
I can't be too surprised.
I had to.
It's Jokic and Westbrook.
I had to. It takes a man to admit that he's wrong. I had to walk it back very early in this season. Like, damn, I was fucking wrong.
Yeah, he was about to say he should retire.
Yeah, like in the offseason, I was like, man, this guy needs to fucking retire soon. Yeah. And then he's putting up an incredible season.
I just think with everything that Jokic has been able to do, like I feel like the odds have been stacked against him year in, year out. And he's been kind of just like proven to everybody that he's still that motherfucker in the NBA.
Yeah.
I think with another ring, and I think I'm going to throw in another MVP in there because he's damn well, like Shea hasn't shut the door completely yet. I think he's still there.
Jokic should be the front runner.
Yeah.
I know that Shea may be by sports books. Now, let me put more thought into this. Jokic right now is at 7 All-NBA seasons after this year. He has 3 MVPs. He has 1 ring. Maybe he doesn't need 2 or 3 more All-NBAs to pass Kobe, who's at 12 or 13, because he's my MVP this year. Let's say he wins, because I'm just going to have to factor that in as my favorite. You give him 2 rings and 4 MVPs with 7 All-NBA seasons. Now I can really talk myself into him passing Kobe, because after you get past that top 7, that top 8, it's in that same bubble: Hakeem, Shaq, Kobe, Steph, Jokic. Then you get to Jerry, D. Wade, hold on, KD, and Giannis. Maybe a few more guys in there. So I feel like he's already passed KD, he's passed Giannis, he's passed Jerry, he's passed D. Wade. Steph is the one name that he can pass up this year with a 4th MVP and a 2nd ring. I believe he could. Even if he has 2 less championships, have 2 more. I think that Steph should have 3 MVPs, but he has 2 more MVPs, 2 less championships. I can see him passing Steph, and then Kobe's that next name where I can see it. But it's hard for me to really have him above Kobe right now. I'm just a Kobe guy, so I can see why people have him as high as, top 5, but I don't want to disrespect him. I can't.
Which MVP should Steph?
2021 when he won the league in scoring. I know he wasn't going to miss the playoffs. That was an MVP season.
Come on.
He wasn't. No, my MVP. Let me reword this. Jokic was my MVP that year, but that was an MVP caliber season. No two ways about it.
Nah, yeah, I feel you, but I think Jokic had that shit.
No, I agree.
Shut.
I'm not. This is where I get myself into some trouble. I'm not. If this makes any sense.
It was a top season. No, he was phenomenal.
I'm not saying that. Because my MVP that year was Jokic. I'm not saying that Steph was more deserving, but it was an MVP caliber season. 32 points a game, 67% true shooting, 43% from 3. There was an elite offense with him. When he didn't play, that team was basically a bottom 3 team in the NBA.
Garbage.
It was terrible
when he didn't play.
And when he did not play, they looked like the worst team in the West.
So if NBA had an offensive player of the year, he would have got it there.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. That's where I'm at. He only has 2 MVPs, but that to me, that year he didn't win MVP, that was arguably his 2nd most impressive season.
Nah, he was cooking.
He dogged that year.
That's what I'm suggesting. But let me clear myself up. Jokic was my MVP in 2021.
I think Curry and Jokic, even though I don't want to have a cop-out answer, because I love having my top list set in stone. it's kind of hard to separate them because I feel like they're kind of tied at this point in time. And nowhere else do I have a tie.
Mm-hmm.
With them two, I kind of feel like they have a tie. Jokic, he is ahead of Kevin Durant, though, at this point in time.
Yeah.
Like, them two, there's a big fucking separator at this point.
Yeah.
But Curry and Jokic, they're like this right now. I don't know who I think is better, who has a better career and everything. I think the MVP this year might separate it. Either a championship might separate it, but right now they're just fucking stuck to each other. The Kobe shit, it has to be the ring. Can't be the MVP.
Yeah, it has to be a ring.
Has to be the ring. And
I agree.
what I had to check on my phone was because I had to make sure I wasn't bugging. I was like, Jokic is even 30, right? I just had to make sure to check. It's gonna be 30 in a couple of weeks,
In
right?
February, yeah.
February 19th. He's gonna be 30 in a couple of weeks. I'm hoping, obviously, like, hopefully nothing goes wrong.
I'm hoping he won't retire at 31.
Well, not only that.
Disappear in the dark.
Not only that, I'm just mostly
not.
talking about like injuries or fall off a cliff.
Right.
I'm hoping we get like minimum 4 more elite years. It would be like 11-time All-NBA.
He's at 7, if you can double check and correct me.
No, he's at 6, but we're gonna
get
pencil this year.
Yeah.
This year's a guarantee.
Damn straight he gonna get it, yeah.
So add 4 to that, 11-time All-NBA.
Yep.
And if we don't give him this MVP, he's most likely going to get another one anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say we give this one to Shea or whatever.
Right.
He'll get a 4th one sooner than later, right? 4 MVPs. We can't guarantee a ring to anybody. Rings aren't guaranteed to anyone, but the All-NBAs, we could give it to him. So we could say 11-time All-NBA, 4 MVPs. We don't know how many rings he finishes with.
Mm-hmm.
That's a crazy fucking career, guys. Absolutely crazy. But, like, the ring to me, and then, of course, he has to be the best guy. I doubt Jamal Murray outplays him, and definitely not MPJ.
Right.
I would put him ahead of Kobe.
I forgot
2 finals MVPs. Sure.
the name that I forgot was Wilt. I believe he's past Wilt already. That's that name, that top 12, 13. I believe he's past Wilt. Really what it comes down to for me, we never watch Wilt, goes to that being said.
I can't do that.
The stories that we heard about Wilt's not in my top 10. I'll give you my top 10 if you want it. Wilt's not in my top 10, but the stories that you would hear about Wilt, top 3, top 5, most dominant peak of all time. Jokic is doing that. But he's putting together Wilt's best playmaking seasons with Wilt's best scoring seasons into one with a level of unselfishness that we've never seen beyond Bill Russell and Tim Duncan. My top 10, I'll give to you guys. I got it. All right, number 1, to me, LeBron's my GOAT. Number 2, MJ. Number 3, Kareem. Number 4 and 5, I have Magic and Larry. 6, I have Bill Russell. 7 is going to be Tim Duncan. 8, to me, this is where Kobe fans are like, hasn't been named yet. 8 through 10, I go back and forth, and it's not set in stone, but I'm really tempted to have Steph outside. And I was looking at this the other day. This is fucking killing me. I'm going to have to go at number 8. I don't know if it's crazy to say Hakeem, but I feel like he has him and Kobe with Shaq. That's the 3 guys, 8, 9, 10. I'll go for now. Number 8, Kobe. 9, Hakeem. 10, Shaq. 11, Steph. 12, Jokic, 13, Wilt. And then from there, after Wilt at 13, this is where you have so many greats. D. Wade and Jerry at 14, 15. KD, did I not name KD? No.
I don't believe so.
No, so KD and Wilt would be like right there, like 13 and 12. Wait, no, fuck. Because I'm not here to do this. 11 would be Steph. 12 would be Jokic. 13, Wilt. 14 KD. And 15, you're at like your D Wades, your Jerrys, your Giannis's. But yeah, right now I would have to say that Wilt's not a top 10 player to me.
Yeah, I just had to go back to my notes because I remember when I flew to Atlanta in July.
Oh, you was making your list?
Yeah, because I had
that airport's a long wait.
No, not even the airport. The plane.
Oh.
Because I already used my T-Mobile free Wi-Fi shit earlier in the year when I flew somewhere else. I was like, fuck, I know Wi-Fi. I was like, shit, I'm about to just make a top list. I got all the way to 40.
There you go.
I was like, shit, I ran out of names and I fell asleep.
Do you have Chris Paul in your top 40?
Better. I do.
Good. Okay, good.
I do. At 33.
I'm glad you do.
I kind of feel like, though, I could argue I could kind of put him a little bit higher.
I think 33 is a good spot for him. No championship.
I feel like I could swap him and Pippen directly, and Pippen's 30.
Okay.
I think I could swap them directly.
Or do you have Kawhi?
Kawhi, I'm not going to lie, Kawhi is the hardest player
to rank
all
like 5
time.
All-NBAs and then 2 Finals MVPs.
But it's just that his playoff performances are so fucking incredible.
Exactly.
But it's so weird to rank him. So I was like, damn, just because his performances carry him so much in the playoffs, especially 2019.
Yeah.
But I'm like, he's also held back by not playing a lot either.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, fuck it. Best version of himself, let's throw him in. I just threw him at number 28. So
What's your list?
So I got Braun. Obviously, the king is the GOAT.
He's a GOAT. Is both your all's GOATs? Or yeah, MJ.
MJ's still my
fan.
GOAT.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even as a Knicks fan.
I mean, I wasn't alive when he was terrorizing the Knicks, but
right.
He's still my GOAT. LeBron is too. But I'm not getting into arguments with people saying, oh, no. Like, if people have LeBron as their GOAT, that's understandable.
Right.
Our biggest argument was Jahlil Okafor versus Porzingis.
That's fire.
Yeah, because I'm a Duke fan.
Quite literally.
Right.
He said we should have picked Jahlil Okafor in the rookie years.
Ooh.
Which was insane now, 10 years later.
Yeah. And I was fighting hard.
Yeah, he was fighting hard in the fucking hallway. So, that shit was ridiculous. Yeah, so I got Braun, Jordan, Kareem, Bird. So ours is kind of similar in this point, but I got Bird over Magic.
Okay.
So Kareem, Bird, Magic, Tim.
Tim is 6.
Yeah, Tim 6.
Okay, above Will.
Wilt 7. Shaq 8.
Okay.
Bill 9. Hakeem 10. Kobe 11. Curry 12. Jokic 13. Moses 14.
Oh, Moses, that name. Yeah.
Moses 14.
He's easily top 20.
Moses 14. KD 15. Dr. J 16.
Yep.
Oscar Robertson 17. KG 18. Wade 19. Zeke 20.
Gotcha. I think no Jerry in top 10. I would have him in there.
I'm not gonna lie though, because I'm looking through my whole list. I didn't put Jerry at all.
Yeah.
So I just forgot his name.
You good?
Where would I put Jerry though? Because I'm not gonna lie, I bugged out. I put Elgin Baylor, but I forgot Jerry. I don't know how the fuck I did that. But if I had to put Jerry somewhere, I gotta knock Zeke
MVP,
down a little bit.
Only Finals MVP until didn't win. I mean, come on. That shit is still crazy to me. And also, Elgin wasn't on that championship team. He retired with
He missed it.
I think he got a ring. He retired 4 games in that season. So
he just missed it. Fuck, man. It's tough, bro. I don't know how I forgot him, to be honest with you. It's tough. And then after that, you got your Barkleys, your Giannis's, David Robinson.
yeah.
Don't want to put him in here, but you have to. Karl Malone, Dirk, Harden, Kawhi, Westbrook, Pat Ewing, Steve Nash, Chris Paul, all these guys, Stockton, Dominique.
Yeah.
Mellow Bias, Paul Pierce, T-Mac, all these guys. I'm definitely forgetting a lot of names. This is off top.
There's a lot.
Wi-Fi. There's definitely a lot of people I fucking forgot, though.
You get Giannis in there?
Yeah.
Or
Giannis, but I think I have to put him higher. I don't know why I put Zeke over Giannis. Giannis has to be number 20.
yeah, I'd have to have Giannis above.
I forgot John Havlicek. John Havlicek has
Hondo is the most underrated player of all time. He's
he has to
easily
go up
top 40. May push like that, like Chris Paul Pippen tier.
No,
Yeah, I think he would.
He has to be top 40 undisputed. I'm trying to think of other guys. I feel like Kevin McHale has a shot for top 50. I don't know about top 40. It's a lot of guys, bro.
Yeah.
It's a lot of guys. But for Jokic to already be that high up, he's about to turn 30 in a couple weeks, though, to kind of just put like a wrap on the Jokic shit. Like, just unreal, bro. I just feel like, not to say like he's kind of been underappreciated, but I feel like people are like kind of waiting to move on to the next thing already. You feel me? I feel like so many people are already ready to latch onto Shea, ready to latch onto Ant, and they're not really appreciating what we're seeing in Jokic right now, which is, like you just said, and I completely agree with you, because I just said he washes Curry and KD as a peak offensive performer. The only 2 guys as an offensive engine who are better all time is Mike and LeBron. I don't think anybody else is on that tier. If you put a podium of 3 guys as offensive engines, it's them 3. Magic, love him a lot. Love Bird. He's better than both of them. You feel me? Steve Nash, underrated offensive engine. He's better than Harden, who we love so much. We
Harden's
fucking love.
Harden's
we were gushing about Harden 18-19 in the group chat the entire season. He's better than that.
Yeah, Harden at his peak was top 5 offensive player, maybe.
Yeah, and he's better than that.
Engine for sure.
He's better than that.
The shit that he was doing was, looking back at those seasons, it's still absurd to me. What it comes down to for me is that Magic was not the scorer or
correct
isolation player in the half court that Jokic is. And while Larry was that, he was not quite the playmaker. And Larry was a sensational passer. But as a playmaker, I think Jokic was at a higher level because he's got 4 inches and 50, 60 pounds. So what he brings out of the post, it's just it's a death by like 1,000 cuts because they're going to keep saying doubles and he's going to keep spraying out the shooters or a ridiculous pass to the dunker spot. And then if you leave him 1-on-1, he's just going to pummel you every single time with the same repertoire in the post. So that's what it comes. I know I've had people in the past say like, youth is wasted on the young. You take in Jokic or Larry. I'm like, no, like Jokic is basically just the modern version of Larry. And with time, everything's going to evolve, of course. And I think relative to his peers, Jokic he separated himself even more than Larry did, in my personal opinion.
And the one quick thing too that I just love about Jokic is all the hype that we've gotten about Sabonis's pops. I feel like this is kind of the moment that we have to see what's kind of closest to all the hype that we heard about him in Europe. I feel like we're finally getting all the stories that we heard about him in Europe.
Yeah.
We're kind of seeing that now in Jokic in the United States. If this is basically all the stories that we heard in Europe, Jokic is either better than what Sabonis was in Europe, or he's the same exact shit. But I think this is the same exact thing, or maybe even a better level to it. That's the craziest part to me. We finally got to see what Arvydas would have looked like in America. If you can pull up
Arvydas' international stats, it was a lot harder to produce then. But I don't know if it's close from a production standpoint. But that's factoring how much easier it is to produce in the NBA too. Yeah. So
absolutely ridiculous, bro. Let's get into these top 10 contenders though, guys. We're halfway through the season. A little bit more than halfway, though. A couple games over halfway. About to be into the All-Star break. We're getting to that point where we know who's real, who's not. We know who's going to be in that championship hunt. We know there's really only about 4 or 5 real contenders going into that end of the season. But let's see who's really in that top 10 race. As always, we start from the bottom up. Never want to spoil with the best thing. Then start from number 1. Justin, we're going to start off with you with your number 10. Who is your number 10 contender for the season?
So making this list, it was kind of tough to get to 10. I was kind of like, this team ain't a contender. This team is not a contender. But for the sake of coming up with 10 teams and 10 names, I have the Houston Rockets here at 10. Top 3 seed in the Western Conference.
Right.
They're having a great season. Reason I have them at 10. They're still young. I think this is going to be like their welcome to the party moment. Like, you can't really predict what's going to happen. You could say it's going to be a first round exit depending on who they match up with. Maybe they win a playoff series. You can't really predict. But I think this season is just going to be like they're going to get there. We're going to see the flaws like we talked about last episode. We might see Jalen Green struggle because that's the type of player.
X factor.
Yeah. So we might see that. We might see how Şengün handles like actually being like keyed in on in the playoffs. So I'm gonna put them, and they still don't have a reliable go-to guy in the fourth quarter. We hope Jalen Green can be that guy, but I still have my reservations about it. I have to see it first for a good amount of time, and especially in the playoffs when he's being keyed in on in the fourth quarter. So I would put Houston at 10.
Yeah, I'm going to match you as well. And some names, by the way, that I snubbed the Clippers. I snubbed Orlando just because of the injuries, unfortunately. That lets them falling in the standings. If they were able to stay a little bit more afloat, I'll be able to give them that grace. But unfortunately, they just fell because of the Paolo and the Franz injuries, as well as Mo, too. Don't want to underrate Mo and the contributions that he's had this season. But my number 10 as well, Justin, are the Rockets. Regardless of how high they are right now in the seeding, just like you said, just to repeat, an experience. I know you didn't really say it in that way, but kind of like a lack of a true like guy to go to in the stretch, that true number 1.
Yeah.
Şengün is great, but is he that guy you're going to go to with the last 3 minutes in the fourth quarter? Jalen Green, incredible stretch like in the past month. But like our concerns have been, we want him to do it for the whole season. This isn't hate. We want him to do it for the whole season. We've seen him do it for a month stretch a couple of times in his career.
A lot of times.
We want you to do it for the whole season, or at least for a couple month stretch. Can we rely on you to do it for half of April and for the month of May for you to get all the way to the conference finals? I don't know. I just got to see it. Right now, though, my confidence level is not that high in terms of that. And again, just the general inexperience, I don't know. The defense, very confident. Very, very confident. Like I told this one dude in TikTok Live, my boy Top, I don't know how you guys feel about this. Amen to me is the best perimeter defender in the league. By far. You could say Dort. You could say anybody else.
What about his brother, Asor?
Asar is phenomenal as well, but to me, it's still a man.
Because I think both of them are on that short list. Asor hasn't played enough games. Those are two clear all defensive caliber players. Clear. Eamon this year is going to make it. Eamon has to.
To me, it's him. Like I got into a big back and forth with my boys on that TikTok live for about like a good 12 minutes. I said, bro, I know Dort kind of has that reputation after those couple of years, but I was like, this guy has fucking everything. He has all the tools, and he's putting it all together on the floor. This is the best perimeter defender in the league right now, and he's going to be the best perimeter defender for years to come. I promise you that. And then everyone else around him, too, is a great defender. You feel me? So I think that the defense is going to be the problem, but the offense down the stretch, it's going to be a little bit suspect for me.
Yeah.
And bro, when it comes to the playoffs, like I said, you can have a deep roster and everything, but let's just be honest.
It comes down to your top guys.
Yeah, exactly. What matters the most in the playoffs? Having that true star power, bro. At the end of the day, you need that star power that's going to carry you at the end. That's what you need the most. And right now, they don't really have that guy in that certain moment.
Yeah, I'm only disappointed at the fact that I also have the Rockets at number 10, and I was really hoping we all had the same number 10 team. So my honorable mention, it was between the Rockets and the Magic for me. The Magic are going to get snubbed. They're going to be healthy soon. But until the Magic make a move at the deadline, which could be Anthony Simons, he came back, played well, had a great game in Orlando.
That would be so fire.
If they make that move, they immediately leapfrog the Rockets to me. But Houston has an elite defense, and that to me, it reminds me of the Grizzlies in 2022, even 2021. But the difference is that this is a top 2 seed right now, of course, and I believe they're going to stay in that top 3. You have home court, you have Jalen Green, and not only Jalen Green, Alperen Şengün kind of playing their best ball, but like you guys highlighted, the perimeter defense is just pretty fucking incredible. I mean, you have Tari come back healthy, you have Eamon, you have Dylan Brooks, who's basically now redundant with these guys, Fred VanVleet at the point guard spot, and Şengün is a defender who's better than his reputation would suggest, especially when you put him in this environment with Ime Udoka. It's really so much like the Grizzlies in those years. So I got Houston at number 10 for me.
No, yeah, shout out to the Rockets, bro. I'm glad you mentioned that name with Anthony Simons because I've been telling Justin, and we've agreed on this too, since the offseason. I was like, bro, if there was just some way that Orlando could get him, they will be sitting pretty, bro, for years to come. They'll be like the
We've
true
been talking
contender.
about this for a while.
I would low-key think that they could fuck with us, to be honest with you.
Hell yeah.
Like, they would really fuck around.
I'm already scared of them.
They would deadass beat us. They would beat us probably like in 6-7 games, to be honest with you. That's all they're needing, like a true scoring guard, bro. They could fuck around and kill us,
but
bro.
Suggs at the 2?
Yeah.
Simons,
to cover that, too,
Suggs,
to cover his deficiencies, yes.
Wagner, Banchero, Goga, or Wendell. Goga's really good. I think Goga's better than Wendell.
Goga or Wendell.
I would rather have Goga as that long-term 5, hot take. He's awesome when he gets to play as a starter.
You got Isaac off the bench.
Minister of Defense.
Damn.
That team would be
hell.
disgusting.
It's hell.
And it's the perfect situation for every party. It's best for Portland with Scoot and Shaden. It's best for Orlando. And we've seen Anthony Simons, you talk about hot stretches, we've seen him average 27 a game on good efficiency. He's got his weaknesses like any other small guard, but this year's been the resurgence of these, score first combo guards like Tyler Hero, Jordan Poole, Jalen Green, another case in point, Norman Powell. Why can't Anthony Simons be that next name if you just plop him into an environment where they have everything except for an elite shot creator? I don't know if I'd say he's elite, but he's right there.
He's really
good. And at the end of the day, he does not have to be the number 1, and he doesn't have to be the number 2. And if he's your number 3 scorer offensively, your main team's the Knicks, right?
Yeah.
So that I think they're better than the Knicks right then and there. That's my personal take because we'll get into the Knicks in a little bit. I am a little worried about their rim protection.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They would bang with us, honestly. Like, better than us, potentially, but they would at least be tied with us at best. I don't know who would be better. They could be a little bit better than us, but tied with us, absolutely. Absolutely. And then it would be us, the Magic, and we'll still be behind the Celtics, obviously. But they would obviously be a top fucking East contender with him on their team. My number 9, don't know how they fucking snuck in here with my offseason prediction, but the Lakers.
Really?
Yeah.
My number 9 is the Clippers.
My number 9 is the Lakers.
I'm surprised. Wow.
I left the Clippers out because, I've been saying this for the whole season. I don't know what's going to happen with Kawhi. How much is he going to play? He's going to play the whole playoffs, part of the playoffs, and then get hurt. It's unfortunate. It's a trend. But what the Lakers are and the recent reports with what AD is saying, with what LeBron's saying, we know what the time of year is. It's about to be February, trade deadline. They're already asking for help. AD saying, "Yo, we need a 5. I'm tired of playing the 4." Let's see if they get the support. You feel me? But they're kind of doing their thing right now. They got rid of D'Lo. They're all the way up to a 5 seed. You don't want to knock the Lakers. You feel me?
Yeah.
They're a capable team. They're always going to be in that race. They're always going to have the defense. The offense is always going to be.
But the defense hasn't been there this year.
But in the playoffs, they're always going to have the
Right.
defense. The offense is going to be a little bit sus. But the thing is this, right? They could bang with anybody that's not Denver, obviously, and not OKC. The problem is right now, who are they going to match up with in the standings? Coincidence. Denver.
Yeah.
That's kind of the fucking problem. So right now, if they're going to face Denver, that's going to be a big problem. They kind of have to pray that either they kind of fall down a spot, the Lakers fall down a spot, just one spot, or that Denver starts climbing up. But I truly do believe, because we see in the past, right? When they went to the Western Conference Finals, they were smashing everybody. They smashed the Grizzlies. They smashed the Warriors. And then what happened? They ran into the buzzsaw. That was the Nuggets. Then they went up against the Nuggets again. You feel me? They can beat anybody that's not the Nuggets. They just have to try to avoid them. And I truly believe they could beat anyone that's not OKC and the Nuggets. If they could just get them to beat each other and then just meet one of them in the conference finals, they're fine. Because they could beat the Rockets.
Yeah.
I'm fully confident they could fuck up.
Beat the Grizzlies.
Yeah, they could
the
fuck
Grizzlies
up Memphis
again. We've seen AD shut down Ja.
Yeah, they could fuck up the Grizzlies again. They could. I love the Kings. Okay, they could fuck up the Kings. Let's be real. Sabonis owns AD. They could fuck up the Kings though. The Suns, I'm not even entertaining that. Let's be real.
Yeah.
I'm not entertaining the Suns. I'm not entertaining the Timberwolves. They're fucking up the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
They're beating everybody but those two teams.
Yeah.
So I do still have them as a West contender, but it's really just those two teams that are in their way.
Right.
And right now, who's that guy that's going to be in their way? The Nuggets. And guess what? Even if by some miracle they beat the Nuggets, who do they see in round 2? OKC, most likely.
I thought they could have beat OKC last year without iHeart, but you put iHeart into the mix.
Yes, it's bad luck.
That changes a lot. Because last year I was like, they should be vying to get that matchup with Oklahoma State. It's an inexperienced team where AD can, respectfully, he could bully a rookie Chet in that series. But I think this year's different. Like OKC is way more battle tested to win that series quite comfortably. I have 2 questions. You guys don't have the Timberwolves in your top 10, right?
No
shot.
I don't have, bro, if I'm not biased with the Kings in here, I'm not putting the Timberwolves in the same tier.
I want to make sure, because you mentioned them. I'm like, I didn't think about them in the top 10.
No.
My other thing, do you guys want to list our top 10 teams blindly at the same time? Or do you want to just go with, I feel like that'd be kind of fire if we blindly reveal 10-1 at the same time. Like number 10, we all say, you want to try doing that?
Yeah, we can do whatever we want.
Up to you. I don't care. Up to you.
it.
Because I kind of want to see it at the same exact time, because I feel like we might have similar top 5s. And then you can clip that. It's a fire thing to do. So, I know we already named the number 10 and 9, but who's your number 9?
My number 9, I have the Lakers at 9.
Really?
Yeah, I have the Lakers at 9.
My brother.
I mean, the Clippers are on my list.
You high on the Lakers.
No, I have the Clippers over the Lakers.
You don't have the Lakers at all.
I don't have the Lakers in my top 10. No.
Yeah, coming up with the list, I didn't want to put the Lakers, but I'm like, I gotta put them.
They always sneak in.
They always sneak in when you got AD and you got Bron. Even though it's not the same Bron, it's like in a playoff series, like you said, if it's not OKC, if it's not Denver, they have a chance. Just putting them in. This year has been a better year than like seasons past. 'Cause seasons past, they're always like 10 seed, 11 seed, 9 seed. They're always like hovering around that range. Right now, being in the top 6, it's good for them.
Absolutely.
And I like the Dorian Finney-Smith trade for them. I think they add another player that doesn't need the ball and complements LeBron and AD well. I think Max Christie playing a lot better. It's a good thing for this team. And Austin Reeves having this season, I just love it for him. I would like to see what they do in the postseason. Hopefully we see what that matchup ends up being. But I think they could really battle with any team.
Here's my thing with the Lakers. I like their lineup a lot, especially in DFS. Having Reeves kind of get that primary responsibility is the best thing for them. But they just need everything to go right. True. And I look at the rotation. They have a strong top 6, but they have nothing after that I can really look at and say it's a rotation player.
Yeah,
Just come in. And that's where I look at the Clippers and I say, the Clippers are my number 9 team. And I'm like, they have an elite defense this year, and they have so many guys who are just collectively bought in. They had a good offseason. And with Kawhi Leonard coming back, I know he's shaking off the rust, but you have James Harden still. I know the efficiency hasn't been there, but him and Norman Powell held it down to keep them afloat and above 500. You get Kawhi back for 3 months being healthy. There is a TikTok that went viral, someone basically breaking down that that Kawhi can't play a full season. If he's not going to play from obviously June, I don't think they make it to June. If he ain't going to play from May to January, that's fine. But if you can get Kawhi from like real Kawhi, we're talking 24 game on good efficiencies, plus defender. He's basically he's an all-star, to put it simply. You get that type of player from February to April, you're talking about 4 or 5 months of that all-star caliber player when you need it most. Yeah. And with their backcourt this year, I feel like they're just a better, more complete team than the Lakers. And I expect their offense to just be better with Kawhi in the lineup. So I think that's where I had the Lakers probably in that 11, 12 spot, the Magic. I just don't think it's their year until they get more depth for me, honestly.
So I guess this is where I could comment on the Clippers since I don't have them at all. Mm-hmm. The inverse of that is Clippers, phenomenal defense, which I don't think anybody expected this season.
Zubats.
Let's be real.
Shout out to Zubats, man.
Nobody expected the Clippers. No one expected the Clippers to have elite defense. Let's just all keep it being.
I'm not too surprised. Can we see it in the past?
But let's be serious. I did not expect them to be this incredible on defense. My thing is this when it comes to playoffs, though, right? God forbid, again, Kawhi goes down. Mm-hmm. But my mentality always is when an injury thing is a trend, I have to factor that in, right? Mm-hmm. The same way I mentioned it earlier with John Morant, right. I kind of have to do that with Kawhi. So when Kawhi plays in the playoffs, obviously we can legitimately expect like 28 points per game on 56 to like legitimately 62% from the field, right?
Except those 2 games last year, unfortunately.
Like we could basically expect that as a lock, which is insane. But if he goes down, what do you need to win the series? You need some vintage Harden games.
You need Norman Powell 30 balls.
You need Norman Powell to step up. And the thing is, with Harden getting a little bit older, can we really expect these vintage Harden games to come more and more naturally? You're going to get less of those the older that he gets. It's just kind of the truth. Yeah. He's getting a little bit more inefficient the older he gets. The playmaking's still there, of course. But I cannot expect that from him anymore. It's a little bit, it's not realistic anymore. Mm-hmm. I don't want to put those expectations on him because it's not realistic anymore. Mm-hmm. Back in Philly, I could. He gave me those 40 balls against the Celtics. I was like, yes, that's what I fucking need from you. Yep. I can't go into him versus the Grizz and say, you know what, Harden, what you did against the Celtics, I need you to do that shit again. That was 2 years ago. In them 2 years, a lot has changed. I cannot tell him to do the same shit. Can Norman Powell step up and do that same exact thing? It's possible.
Maybe not likely.
I'm not personally expecting that shit.
Right.
So the same way that you're saying a lot of things gotta go right for the Lakers, one thing has to go right for the Clippers. But that one thing, it's also kind of not that likely either. And it's Kawhi Leonard having to play. If he plays, this is a contender. If they don't, they're a first-round wash.
Oh.
That's kind of the thing. So I kind of have to factor in. That's why they're in that, that awkward position. He plays, they're the real fucking deal. Mm-hmm. I could low-key pencil them in for Western Conference Finals. It's possible.
I can't go that far.
It's possible depending on who they play on the path.
Nuggets on them. You've got Oklahoma City.
If they could avoid both, I don't see why not. If they're on that 2 and 3 path.
Even if you avoid both of them, I still don't know.
They could cook Houston. They could cook Memphis. And who else would be in that 6 range?
I take Memphis over them in a 7 game.
I would take no.
With healthy Kawhi, I'll take the Clippers. It's going to be a battle.
I would take the Clippers over Memphis.
Battle.
Healthy Kawhi, I would take the Clippers.
Oh, if you get him for 7 games,
that's what I'm saying.
I understand that.
If he plays the whole series,
this is the way I look at it.
I'm taking him.
That's just going 7.
I'm looking at playing 3.5 games.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is a fully healthy Kawhi is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If everything goes right for them, if Kawhi plays the whole playoffs, I'm taking him over everybody that's not, again, the Nuggets and OKC. So if he goes on that lower bracket of that 2, 3, 6, and 7, I don't see why they can't beat all 4 of those teams. Well, the other 3 teams available if they're one of the 4 down there. They could beat any one of all those teams and go to the conference finals. I don't think that's out of this world because it's the Rockets, it's Memphis, and then the 6th seed. I mean, it's always up in the jumble, but it would be who? It could be any combination of like the Kings. They could beat the Kings. It could be like the Timberwolves. It could possibly be the Lakers. It could beat the Lakers.
Mavericks, of course, who slip.
The Mavericks could slip. That would be a tough game. A tough series.
That could go either way. That's the team that I really trying to think of.
That one would be tough. You feel me? But besides that, the Mavs would really only be the only competition. Respect to the Grizzlies, obviously. I respect the Grizzlies, but that is their toughest comp down there.
Yeah.
On that lower half. But besides that, if you have Kawhi on your team healthy for the whole run all the way into the end of May, I don't see why they can't go all the way to the conference finals. But for that reason of his history, I had to leave him out.
Mm-hmm. That's understandable.
But like I told Justin, though, when the reports of Kawhi coming back, I said on the show, I said, yo, if he could play like 28 of the remaining games, they could be a top 4 seed.
Right.
That's what I said. But with the run that the Nuggets are on right now, I might have to take them words back. I ain't gonna lie. Because the Nuggets are rolling right now. Right now, they're not losing. Number 8, guys. Let's roll into number 8.
I got Milwaukee here.
I got Milwaukee. Justin?
This is where I had the Clippers.
Okay.
Oh, so you did have the Clippers.
But I had Clippers parentheses if Kawhi is healthy.
Okay, so I guess that's a good separator to have.
Yeah.
So you could talk on your Clipper thing right now then.
For the Clippers, it's really predicated on Kawhi being healthy. But like you said, John, the defense for this team is fucking amazing. Yo, prior to the season, I had this team very, very.
Oh, I had Matt to the top 10. Yeah, coming this year. Yeah. No, I was mad. I was mad disrespectful.
God, it's so crazy.
My brother.
Yeah, I was mad.
He had him 13.
I had him 13.
I had like 12.
You guys are crazy. You guys are crazy.
No, the reason why was because I was like, you lose Paul George, I don't expect Kawhi to play this year.
Hey. Like Norman Powell said, addition by subtraction. I thought it in the preseason too.
No, I was mad disrespectful too, because I just thought Tyronn Lue would be checked out after all the BS that he's had to deal with. And I felt like with how many, I don't mean, you'll give him 1 second. I felt like with everything that he's had to deal with, Tyronn Lue, that this would be his last year as the coach, he would be checked out and then this tank.
I feel like.
Not yet, but with the Clippers, this defense being that good, shout out to fucking Zubac playing this great this year. James Harden. First All-Star ballot, I had him as a wild card. Doesn't quite make the team, but he's still having a real good season. Norman Powell, I know people on the TikTok is laughing at us right now, but he's balling, bro. He's really hooping right now, and I think it's probably unlikely Kawhi playing like for a good stretch of time, but I think the most likely if you could somehow like preserve him and get him like to play like that good stretch in the playoffs, I think that might be more likely. Because like at this point, they've played fine with him not in the lineup. Like with him missing these games, they've overachieved as a team. So I think you could continue that. I think it's sustainable with him not playing as much. You could keep him in and out. I was telling Jordan like a few episodes back, I wouldn't have him play what was it?
Road back to backs.
Road back to backs. Yeah, I wouldn't have him play road back to backs at all. Just try to preserve him because I think you really have something with this unit right now. And with Derrick Jones Jr., him playing the way he's been playing, it's a plus for him too.
I thought guys like him and Chris Dunn would not play. Like I thought they'd be like
they're like
shit.
Big parts for this team. So I think with the right matchup and hopefully Kawhi shakes that rust off in time. If you could get him, like try to trigger it for like him to play like a good like 20-ish games in the playoffs, I think they could be sneaky, bro.
That's valid.
They could do their thing.
Whatever it takes to get Kawhi healthy in the playoffs. You can be the 6 or 7 seed. Just give me a healthy Kawhi. I'd rather that than 4 or 5, but no, without Kawhi.
Hey, get them perked up. Yeah. Fuck it.
Whatever it takes.
Get them perked up if you have to.
That's how Jalen Hurts was taking last week.
Hey, man.
Whatever.
Get him whatever Kurt Angle was taking, bro. That's all I'm going to say. We matched on the Bucks. Why do you think the Bucks is in this spot right here?
Number one, it's got to come down to Giannis. I mean, he's a top 3 MVP candidate, and this is someone in the playoffs who's established himself as a playoff riser. And then the immense spacing that they've provided around him. The defense has improved. There's 100%. Still some questions as to how Brook Lopez will fare that late into the season at that age as your rim protector. And Giannis has still been a very good defender. It's obvious he's not quite at that depoy level he was at back then. But really the Bucks case to me, it rests on their offense being elite and arguably the best in that Eastern Conference bracket with the Celtics and the Cavs. They're in that top 3. And then you really just bank on Dame and Giannis giving you, and particularly in Lillard's case, enough of those performances that he left behind in Portland to where their offense is so potent and there's so much spacing. And they have that continuity to really go on a run. It's just a matter of how, one, is Middleton going to be available? And then two, because I think he kind of is that last piece. He's like that elixir to add an extra edge. But working hand in hand with that, who's going to be your point of attack defenders consistently? They'll give you something on offense. So I just feel like they're kind of marred by that lack of depth, of course, and that quality two-way play. But, if they can make one or two moves at the deadline to kind of shore up that a little bit, I wouldn't be surprised to see this team in a competitive second-round series.
Yeah, I hope that move, though, isn't Bradley Beal.
No, hell no.
That's all I'll say. That's just taking a step back. Bless you.
Thank you.
I will take these guys off the fucking list if they add Bradley Beal.
Yeah.
To be completely honest.
Oh, yeah. I have that in my notes.
That's so stupid. Yeah. But you did mention Cash Money Chris, one of my GOATs, one of my favorite players ever. But he is available. Not the best season that he's having. It really makes me sad to watch. But if somehow he could turn it up like he did last playoffs, which I'm gonna be real with you guys, I strongly doubt it.
Yeah,
I really do strongly doubt. I think that
show was awesome.
I think that was the last bit of juice that he had, and unfortunately, they still lost in 6. But
I know
you hit the nail on the head. This is really all based on star power, straight up just star power. Yeah. Giannis, although he is a top 3 superstar in the league, still kind of like the most. It sounds crazy to say, but like the least talked about superstar in the league right now. Yeah. The guy puts up back-to-back incredible seasons. Like this season and last season these were 2 seasons already that were better than his MVP seasons. No one really gives a shit.
Offensive standpoint,
easily. Offensively,
clearly,
it's way fucking better than his MVP seasons. But no one really gives a shit. But like you said, playoff riser, incredible player. I think that him himself, he could be a really big problem for a lot of teams in the East. We just need Dame to really carry his weight. He has been playing really good this season compared to last season. They are developing that chemistry together. The only thing is, the question marks is everyone else around them. Can anybody just step up for the playoff series? Just anyone. For that one playoff series, you need one guy to step it up. Is it going to be Cashman and Chris? I doubt it. Is it going to be Bobby? I don't know. Is it going to be Brooke? And even bigger, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know who it's going to be. That's kind of the big problem, man. You can't rely on, Giannis to drop 40 and Dame to drop 30 every game to win a playoff series. It's just not feasible.
The toughest part with them, and the Bucks just scream second round exit to me.
Unfortunately.
Doc Rivers is your coach. You have not good perimeter defense, and you have an aging front court on the back line. Your depth is just a bunch of shooters and shot creation, but there's not necessarily any sort of consistent third option on that offense because of Chris's injury concerns and his regression. So, no, that really is brutal because last year we saw in that Pacers series, that was vintage Chris Middleton.
Yes.
That was the same exact guy who at any given moment could drop 40 in a critical playoff game and then do it again in that same series. But at this point, they need to make some move at the deadline because Giannis is, alongside Kareem, the best player in their franchise's history. And it feels like for as great as he's been this year, it's been completely overlooked because he's on average roster, which is a shame because at the end of the day, if you gave him some quality perimeter defenders, to me, they're neck and neck with Boston. But of course, they just don't have that. You look at what the Celtics have done. You put Derek White and Drew Holiday in that team with Kristaps Porzingis, and then on the other hand, the Bucks' best options are Andre Jackson in that role, AJ Green, and Pat Connaughton I'm not going to include at this point, and AJ Johnson. They took in the first round over
DeLon Wright too.
Yeah,
yeah.
DeLon Wright. Yeah. Oh, my fault. I forgot Torian Prince. Torian Prince, Andre Jackson, and AJ Green.
He said my fault. I forgot Torian Prince. It is a disservice what they're doing to him, bro. It really is. And like you said, I mean, if you want to say tied with Kareem, I think he's kind of past him, just because he's gonna retire there for that one point. But complete disservice what they're doing to the man, bro. It's fucked up. And the worst part is because you said Drew Holiday is just the fact that I know you got Dame in that deal, but it's like not only did you lose Drew, but it's like inadvertently now he's on the competition and they just fucking won with him.
Yeah.
It's a travesty. My number 7, guys. This is where I got Memphis.
New York Knicks.
Oh, shit.
I got the Knicks low.
I don't appreciate that. I'm not going to lie to you.
I knew you were going to say that.
I don't really appreciate that. Justin, your number 7?
So first, I want to know I fucked up.
Did you?
Yeah,
Brother.
So I left the Nuggets off,
Brother.
not because I don't think they're a contender. I think I was like reworking it, and I might have deleted it.
Okay.
And then I put. So this is what I'm doing. Honorable mention: Houston. 10 is Lakers.
So crazy. Kick out no, please kick out the Lakers. Don't kick out Houston.
Yeah, keep Houston in there. I think.
Honorable mention: Lakers. 10 Houston. 9 Clippers. 8 is where I have the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Bucks, and then my 7 is the Knicks.
Damn, bro. Yeah. Give me the fucking jersey. Why got the Knicks so low?
Just the concerns, bro.
Y'all could spew anti-Knicks propaganda. That's fine.
It's not anti. I'm just being realistic. I'm keeping my hopes down.
That's fine.
I'm not trying to be like we them boys and shit.
That's fine. Y'all can hate.
Your number 7's Memphis. They're my number 6.
Y'all can hate. That's fine.
So, what do you think? This is really a Grizzlies versus Knicks thing. And they're obviously in different conferences. To me, I got Memphis over them because they have so much more on the defensive side of the ball. And look, the Knicks, don't get me wrong, they have a lot of perimeter defenders, but their defense, I think it really counts to Mitchell Robinson being healthy, and he hasn't played this year. And I've said this a few times, I'll say it again. I think what held back the Knicks from being contenders was not moving Mitchell Robinson 2 years ago after 2023, because with that cap space, you invest that into a player who's been injury prone at the center spot, and you need that rim protection. And then at the same time, you lose Isaiah Hartenstein. If they had Ihar on this team right now, I believe they're firmly a contender, and they'd be in my top 5. But without him, I believe they're an elite offense, much like the Bucks, with an extra gear to them. But at the same time, I look at Cat as the primary rim protector, and I think all of those weaknesses we didn't see last year are going to pop up in the playoffs. And at that same time, if Mitch does come back healthy, playing next to him with Cat at the 4, I don't expect Cat to maintain this level of performance. So it kind of is a give and a take. If you want Cat at the 5, you're going to have that hole. You have him at that 4, he's not going to be as productive. Because this is a career year for him. At least his best season in like 5 years.
100%.
So you're not going to see that same production, I believe, with him matching up on power forwards and then having a center chill in the paint kind of in his way, because that's what allows Cat on those drive game. All those lanes, they're just going to be clogged a lot of the time, I feel like, with Mitch. So that's where I see the Knicks as a really good team, but I don't view them as a tier A contender, and I feel like they're still in that second tier to me.
No, that's fine. I was just trolling though, because you say you have the
Grizzlies at 6.
Yeah, I got the Knicks at 6. But they're like the inverse of each other, right? Grizzlies are deep, Knicks are not at all, right? And I get it, right? If Cat were to go down, or when Cat sits down, what's our option? It's either Precious, who's decent, or fucking Chris Jericho Sims, bro. And he should
barely
not
plays anymore.
He should not be playing at all.
He shouldn't
respectfully. And I understand the concerns with Mitch, and when Mitch comes back, he will be a big help. But I wouldn't really be too concerned about Mitch and Cat playing together, or even Cat guarding forwards, because I'm pretty sure their minutes are going to be staggered, and it's going to be more so situational. And Mitchell Robinson's never been a 30-minute per game guy anyways, at any point in his career. Even in the playoffs, he's never been no 30. He's always like 26, 28 minutes at most, and it's always situational, right? If they have a dominant big out there, we're going to throw him out there. If not, if it's 5 out, well, we don't fucking need him then. You feel me? So I don't think it's really going to affect Cat too much. I don't really think he's going to be guarding forwards out there for that long. But besides that, I do trust the Knicks in terms of star power. I do trust them in terms of the defense. My one thing is that, and I guess this is kind of me holding on to a move, they need bench scoring, bro. The Grizzlies, this is also where in terms of the inverse comes in. Best bench scoring team in the league. The Knicks, dead last. 20 points per game flat. Grizzlies, I think, I know they're number 1. I think they're at 42. And this is why I am begging so badly. I know he doesn't want to deal with us. Danny Ainge, please give us Jordan Clarkson or Colin Sexton. I am begging you, bro. Please.
The price for Colin Sexton is up right now.
Yeah, I know. And I know you don't want Jordan Clarkson because of the one game against us where he played bad. And you don't give a fuck about any of the other ones. But I will take either one of them, bro. One of them, and then Mitchell Robinson comes back, I'll be sitting so pretty, bro. But at the current time, I trust Jalen Brunson. I trust Cat. I could trust Deuce in situations. I trust OG to play phenomenal defense. We just got to hope he stays healthy. I trust Bridges. I trust Josh Hart to elevate in the playoffs. I trust all those guys in the playoffs. The only thing is, they have to play heavy minutes. They got to stay healthy.
Yeah.
If everything goes right for them, I trust them to contend more than Memphis, to be completely honest with you. But again, they're going to have to play 42 minutes a game and stay healthy.
Yeah,
which is a valid concern.
My whole thing is just like, just the heavy minutes that our starting five is playing right now is like a concern, just because how the way last season ended up. In the playoffs, I don't like them playing fucking 40 minutes in the playoffs. I don't give a fuck. Like that's what you got to do. Because I think we honestly have probably one of the best starting fives in the entire league.
Absolutely.
But when it does come to playoff time, I do trust Jalen Brunson, because after what he did last playoffs, he was doing some some superstar shit. Some like shit that fucking Kevin Durant, Steph Curry weren't even doing type shit. And I'm not going to say I trust Cat, but because I still have to like wait and see. But I trust him more than Randall, though, for sure.
Absolutely.
Because he has shown that he's had moments in the playoffs. But for him to play like how he's been playing this season, like MVP, big bodega Cat in the playoffs, that's like a wait and see. It's a different ball game in the playoffs, especially for Cat. We definitely need Mitchell Robinson back. I don't think we go anywhere without Mitchell Robinson. I just think we don't, because what he adds for us, he adds another way that we can play, especially if we play against Milwaukee in the playoffs, if we play against Cleveland. He's going to be a big factor for us to play big. And having him and Karl Towns on the glass, that's going to be big time. Then Precious Achiuwa coming off the bench. We're going to need him if we want to go far. Josh Hart, I trust in the playoffs. That motherfucker is different. Every time he shot a 3 in the playoffs last year, it was going in.
He makes them when it counts.
He makes them when it counts.
100%.
Mikal Bridges, he's getting his confidence up.
Yeah.
I like the little dynamic. I mean, not as much now, but there was a point like earlier in this season where if Mikal didn't really have it going, OG would have a good game. And if OG didn't have a good game, Mikal would step up. But OG's been kind of quiet as of recent, and Mikal's been playing kind of solid. But I trust that them two, especially with Mikal getting his confidence up now, he's going to lock in more defensively. And I think come playoff time, they're going to know, like, our goal. Like, we were so close last year. Like, we could do this. Like, we have this wing tandem that we got to go at the Jays in Boston. So I think they could really, like, they could cause a lot of nightmares for a lot of teams in the Eastern Conference. So I would have them there, just because the other teams, it's like either the star power is up there or I'm just giving them respect. Memphis is just like, it's one spot higher. I have Memphis, and their bench is just stronger than ours.
Grizzlies Knicks 7 games.
Give me Memphis.
How many games?
Give me Memphis in 7.
I would lead Memphis too.
With Mitchell Robinson?
Shit.
First off, when is Mitch supposed to actually come back?
He was supposed to be back in
He was
January.
supposed to come back.
He was supposed to be
January.
back this month.
Yeah.
First of all, they said January period, right?
Yeah.
There's like 5 days left in January now. I was about to say a week, but technically speaking, now is less than a week left. I don't know, because now there's no reports at all. So I don't know at this point in time, but hopefully soon. That's all I can tell you. Hopefully soon.
I'm more worried about him like coming back and then maybe having another injury, because that's like the biggest thing. And Cat gets in foul trouble often when he's at that 5.
Yeah.
With your lack of depth, if you're closing playoff games with Precious Achiuwa, and the regular season, that's fine. The playoffs, good luck. Like, they have their starting 5, which is one of the 3-4 best in the NBA. But you come back to that spark off the bench, and, you know, that's been campaign for the most part. You know, and I campaign as your 10th man, 11th man, we're good with that. That's perfect. As your 7th man, that's where we have questions. And when Cat gets into foul trouble, he just becomes a different player in the playoffs, where he's coming out the game in key stretches, he's losing his rhythm, and now you're looking at Mikal to step up as your number 2 option. And then all of a sudden, Mikal can't give you that same output on the defensive end, and you're relying on OG. Now, here's the new question. OG's known to miss some time. Mikal, I don't want to jinx shit, but his Iron Man streak is being put to the test.
Come on, bro.
I don't want to jinx none. But his Iron Man streak is being put to the test right now at these minutes played, and I think Tibbs has to chill on that. The issue is that he don't really have many other guys to put in his place. So
Daddy,
it's
Come on, bro.
I just had to throw that out there.
it's crazy.
just
You
wanted to
have
say it.
him playing the most minutes since Lou Alday in 2012, and he's the Iron Man in the NBA. I don't know. I hope he don't miss a game, but I worry that he'll have kind of some tread, like he'll wear down a little bit in the playoffs, and he'll lose some on the tires, and maybe he doesn't have the same lift on his jump shot. I think that's the real thing that we saw even last year at times. There's a lot of players where you kind of play them so much in the regular season, but the playoffs, they're worn down. They can't give you that same output on offense because they're not as fresh. So there are a couple of questions where, with your lack of depth, last year you had it. That team was a solid 8-man rotation. This year, I feel like it just takes one thing to go wrong, starting Mitch being out, and then all the other dominoes can start to have some issues. So that's kind of where I look at Memphis, and I'm like, I know that they don't have Brunson, an arguable top 10 player, but they just have a lot more of a complete unit where, hey, you can still take away Jaren. They'll have other guys plug in. Jaren comes back in. So I think it's more optimistic.
They still got Ja. Hold up. They still got Ja.
Oh, I know.
You just like blinked on Ja.
Here's my thing.
Hold up. And a lot of people call me a Ja hater. You just waved at Ja like nothing.
No, I know I said they got arguably a top 10 player. Brunson's been even better in the playoffs than Ja. And
Of course.
my thing is I have Ja in the top 15. But we have to acknowledge the fact that in his last playoff series against the Lakers, I mean, he got shut down by AD. He still needs to reestablish himself when he's in a series with Jalen Brunson, who in the last 3 playoffs, when I say arguably top 10, he's thoroughly outplayed Donovan Mitchell, an all-star starter, in 2 playoff series. He's went, neck and neck with superstars in the playoffs consistently. So, yeah, no, I'm a big Ja guy. But I acknowledge the fact that Jalen Brunson's 5 spots higher. He's still in the playoffs who I can rely on more because he's just got a higher floor and a more complete game. But yeah, I'm disrespecting my guys a little bit today. I don't want to disrespect Ja. Yeah.
Nah, man. I'm sticking to my guns. I'm taking the Knicks in 6, buddy. I'm taking them. And I know I was being super optimistic about a Jake Clark and a Sexton, but like being realistic though, just need a budget piece, bro. Like Bogey was a really good budget piece last year. If we could just get any type of budget piece this year, bro, I'd really appreciate it.
Maybe it's Bogdanovich on the Hawks.
They would not give him to us. I know for a fact.
You think so?
They won't deal with us. They won't fucking deal with us.
I wish we knew the cost for Nick Richards. Because if that's what it took.
We literally hit the group chat. We're like, that's all it fucking took?
Right.
Seriously? Because if that's all it took, I would have been like, yo, do
upgrade
that shit. Are you serious?
It was Josh Jacoby in 2 seconds or something?
Yeah, like, bro, I would have done that shit. Like,
I'll give you 3 seconds in Precious.
Yeah, or I would have sent Jericho Sims.
Sims in 3 seconds.
Yeah, because right now, if Mitchell Robinson comes back, Josh Hart would go to the bench.
Mm-hmm.
You got Campaign, then you got Deuce and Precious, right? I'm sorry, respectfully, we still need another guy out there, off the bench that's reputable.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like he just said, I kind of want a little bit less Precious minutes. I love Precious. Mm-hmm. He could do his thing sometimes. But I want someone a little bit more reliable than Precious.
Right.
And someone a little bit more reliable than Campaign. Campaign could do his thing sometimes. Not all the times, though. I need someone a little bit more reputable. But still, I'm taking my guys, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Taking my guys. Taking Brunson. I know, like you said, Randall is shit in the playoffs, and we could trust Cat a little bit more. I think Cat in this new situation, I'm not going to say new coach because he's played with this before, but you know how it is. Knew everything, right? I think he's going to be more disciplined in the playoffs now than he ever was before because he was prone to doing dumb shit in the past in the playoffs. A lot. He's still going to be in foul trouble. I don't want to call that dumb shit, but dumb shit offensively, I think we're going to see that not be as consistent this time around compared to the past. So I think he's going to have a solid playoff run. Not going to be elite by any terms of anything, but I think he's still going to be pretty damn good, though. I
fucking hope so.
I really do hope so.
Oh, my God.
Number 5, though. Number 5.
To me, it's the Mavericks.
Mavs.
5, so 6 is Grizzlies for me. 5, I have Mavs.
Okay, so we all agree here. I mean, there's kind of the good spots to have them, to be honest with you. West representatives of the finals last year. It's Luka, it's Kyrie. They got the deep roster. Mm-hmm. They got PJ. They got all the guys, Najee. They got it all, bro. Gafford stepping up. Lively went down. They got all the pieces. They got the pieces that Luka likes. Q Grimes, shout out to him. Former Nick. I wish we could have him now, low key. But he would fit nice off the bench right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, they got all the pieces to low key run it back again. I don't know how they would match up. Look, I know they did it to the Thunder last year. There's a little bit different this time around though. Can they do it to them again? I don't want to make no promises. I don't know. You feel me? But it's possible.
I think it would go the distance.
It's possible.
With Ihart in the picture, much more experienced team, much more shots going in. Oklahoma State wins that this time in 6.
Caruso too.
Caruso, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like they it's possible they could do it. I don't know, man. And they've never played against the Nuggets in the playoffs.
Who
Mavericks.
Yeah,
they've never played against the Nuggets. I would love to see that matchup. And I've been waiting for that shit for a long time, bro. Yeah. I would love to see how that shit pans out. But I think there's a good spot to put them. Like I said, you kind of never know what you're gonna get from the Mavericks in the playoffs. They always have the potential because they have Luka. He's one of the best fucking players in the league, one of the best playoff performers we've seen in our lifetimes. He could take a team all the way to the distance. Kyrie's gotten to that point where he's kind of at that age where you don't know what you're gonna get from him. 2 playoff series he was really fucking good. 2 of them he was kind of
very
poor,
yeah,
below standard. So I'll like for him to be consistent for the entire playoffs. Maybe that's a big ass. PJ was doing his thing.
It can be.
So I think there's a pretty decent spot for them. I don't want to call them true contenders, which is that top 4, but they're knocking on that fucking door.
Yeah, they're the best representatives in that second spot, or that second tier, I should say. Yeah. Like that tier B. It comes down to Luka being out, and like you highlighted very well, Kyrie is an X factor now, and he's not as really consistent. I feel like at this age, he hasn't created as much space, but the shooting is still, phenomenal. And then it comes down to their bench being great, and I'll be honest, I don't expect PJ Washington to play quite as well as did in that Thunder series, which was probably the biggest part of them getting to the finals, to be quite honest, the difference. So I look at the Mavericks and I say, they can get back to the conference finals, but there's not that extra gear to them that the Nuggets are getting right now, and even the Thunder, of course.
No, yeah, 100%, bro. But there's still going to be a problem, though. This is never a team you want to see in the playoffs. You don't want to fuck around and see them.
Especially in the West, yeah.
There's one team that you don't want to play games around and be like, oh, I'm going to lose a game so I can play the Mavs.
Yeah,
you want to win your game and avoid them, if anything, bro, to be honest with you. How you feeling about the Mavs, Justin?
Mavericks, I mean, when Luka comes back, I think, I've said it earlier in the year, I think this is probably the best team that Luka's had. And I know we said it last year, like before the finals run, but I think this team is even deeper than last year's team. And I think it's scary, bro. And it's funny because people laughed at me. And I don't know how you felt about it, but I was like, yo, well, actually, no, I do know how you felt about it, but I was like, the Q Grimes signing and the Najee Marshall signing were the highlight of the offseason, not the Klay Thompson signing, that bullshit. Everybody focused in on that signing and was like, oh, yeah, this is the reason why. I was like, no. And I looked into that camera, I said, Q Grimes is going to be better than Klay Thompson next year. And people was like, yeah. What'd they say? Raise the podcast equipment prices, shit like that.
We're not really part of the Klay Thompson fan base here.
Okay,
I'm not gonna lie.
I think one of the first clips.
They was wrong. Yeah,
they
was
wrong
in the comment section. That's what I think. Honestly, because that was a good take. I'm not here to diss Klay, but that's really showing just how underrated Najee Marshall was in his time in New Orleans, and that goes with so many Pelican role players like Dyson Daniels. He leads immediately a Defensive Player of the Year candidate at guard, which is quite insane. And that best perimeter defender discussion with Amon, I think Dyson Daniels is that name. That's the best case.
Him too. They're tied.
Yes.
They're tied.
They're both first team to me. You have Dyson leave, and then, of course, you lose Najee. Najee this year in Dallas. Luka's out the lineup. He gets even better. And then Quentin Grimes, I was talking to Drew about it for the longest time. He got hurt in Detroit, and he had like a bad stretch of shooting last year, but the 3 years before at the Knicks, what was he? A very good 3 and D. Like 2 guard to a 3. And in the playoffs, he was really helpful for you guys. And then the Mavericks got him for basically nothing. An upgrade off Josh Green. Najee was an upgrade off Derrick Jones Jr. to me. But then again, Derrick Jones Jr. is playing really well in his own right. So I really feel like they lost nothing. And then Klay obviously was an upgrade off of Tim Hardaway Jr. So that was a great take in the offseason.
That's why I was always confused why people in the offseason, not Mavericks fans, but I understand Derrick Jones Jr. did his thing, but I was always confused why people were saying, like, damn, this is an L. They let him go and picked up Najee. It's like, bro, Najee in his own right is still very fucking good, too.
Good, yeah.
That's a good replacement, if not a little bit better, He's still going to do his thing. So I really do respect the Mavs. They're gonna do their thing. Shout out to Q Grimes, bro.
Shout out to Q Grimes.
I still love him, and I'm always gonna love him though, no matter what, because of that play on Jimmy Butler when he pulled his shit and he still stole the ball. I love him for that shit. Now we get into a true contenders.
Yep, T-Ray. That's what I think.
This is gonna be most likely the conference finalists. More likely than not, these are the guys that we're gonna see in the finals. If not, I'll be very fucking surprised. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Number 4, guys. This is where I have the
Cleveland
Nuggets.
Cavaliers.
I have the Denver Nuggets.
Okay. You the one that's straying from the path. Talk to me why I got the Cavs so low.
I do believe the Cavaliers have upgraded this year with their coaching and their spacing. And I look at last year and what held them back. It was them playing their bigs together. This year, they've started to stagger their minutes, and it's allowed for them to get that extra shooter on the floor and that extra shot creator with Karis LeVert. And at the end of the day, I firmly believe you put the Cavaliers in a 7-game series with the Celtics, they'll take that to 7 games. Last year, they took one of the first 2 games before Mitchell got hurt. And then the biggest question, I shouldn't say it's a question, the biggest difference on the court to me has been that Garland's having a way better season and that Evan Mobley's taking that next step forward. And it may not be fully evident in the box score, but night in, night out, you can tell that he's really grown, having an extra year of experience. But when it comes down to, for me, it's just, I look at the Nuggets clicking with the best player in the world. And with the Cavaliers, the question is, do they have a top 10 player in their team? You look at Donovan Mitchell, who at times in the past has been that in the playoffs. Will he be that this year? Darius Garland, you could say he's my favorite player in the NBA. He still has not established himself just yet in the playoffs as a performer. I believe this year he will. And then it's a matter of, all right, Evan Mobley this year has been easily an all-star to me. Can he be that best player? And when I'm comparing that to Denver, who has Nikola Jokic, the best player in the world, that's where I just trust the Nuggets floor a whole lot more, because Denver is finding something here with their young guys. And I think it's more of a reflection of, I know that the Cavaliers are that 1 seed in the East, but at the end of the day, I value what I've seen from Jokic when you give him that young core of Christian Brown, Peyton Watson, and Julian Strawther playing well. And that's why I've got the Nuggets at 3. I don't mean to spoil them, because along with those young guys playing well, you got a healthy AG now. He's come back into the lineup. They've been winning with him. And you've got Russell Westbrook filling in that Bruce Brown role. So with him coming in now, it holds Michael Porter Jr. accountable. It keeps Jamal Murray on his toes, because you have somebody who can close in their place if they don't do all the little things well. So I believe with Denver, Jokic, he wanted Russ, he got Russ, and that's been arguably the best signing, the biggest difference in this last offseason. So I love Cleveland, but to me, it's really a matter of, do they have a top 10 player on their team? Do you guys think they got top? Because I don't know the last time I've had a team in the top 3 that doesn't have a top 10 player in their team. But that's not to dismiss Cleveland, because I still look at them as a clear contender.
I think, though, Donovan Mitchell is going to elevate in the playoffs. And as we know, Donovan Mitchell, at his very best, is a top 10 player. In my opinion, like I said earlier, last season, he was a top 7 player when he was playing at the peak of his powers, when everyone was hurt, carrying the team. He's a borderline top 5 player to me. So in the playoffs, I think he's going to elevate himself to top 10. Hopefully. Hopefully he gets himself back to that 28 point per game guy. Hopefully he puts on that Superman costume when he needs to do it. And maybe he doesn't even have to do it. But talent-wise, I think he could do it. More often than not, he's usually a playoff riser. So if he does elevate in the playoffs, then yeah, they got a top 10 player. In the regular season right now, he's not looking like it. But like I said, more often than not, he's a riser. And when he's a riser, he looks like that top 10 player. And if not top 10, like top 12, maybe.
Yeah, top 12.
So he's right there knocking on the door anyways.
I just put, I had Denver here, not necessarily because I have more faith in Cleveland. I just think in the Eastern Conference, albeit it is stronger this year than it was last year, I think Cleveland just has a better chance of getting there.
I kind of put stock in that too. It's the easier path.
That's why I had them a little bit higher.
Being the 1 seed really helps.
But yes, you're right though. Jokic is the most established star in the league, and they have that player, the number 1 player. But in the West, it's just tough. Like, you can't even pencil in Nuggets, they're definitely going to the conference finals.
You can't do that.
For the Cavs, it's like, if they don't get there, it's a fucking disappointment.
Absolutely.
Because right now, they would avoid Boston.
Exactly. You got a great point. I will acknowledge, this is a team of 4 top 50 players, and 3 of them are top. I got Garland high, and 3 of them are all clear all-stars to me. So it's understandable where you could look at them in round one getting a team like the Hawks. Win 5 games. Now you got extra 2-4 days of rest going to round 2 against the Pacers or whoever wins that
like
4 or
the
5.
Magic, yeah.
The Magic, the Pacers. So that's understandable. It's just, I guess what it comes down to, I think Mobley can defend Tatum, but I would rather have Mobley helping off and roaming opposed to guarding a top 5 player in the world for 40 minutes a night. And then I believe Karis LeVert can match up well at Jaylen Brown, but it just comes down to if Porzingis is healthy in that series, then you have to look at them playing with their bigs on the floor, both their bigs on the floor more often. And I think that's when the Cavaliers are at their worst, when you have to kind of sacrifice their spacing on their offense, which has been the best in the game.
100%.
Yeah.
But like Justin said too as well, and I'm glad you also kind of took that into account too. My thing is also path, not even just them being the 1 seed and like the whole East and West thing too, but also just like what it will look like for them. Not even just current seeding right now, but even if they moved around a little bit, right? Like these guys, regardless, they're gonna kind of have to play OKC regardless. And even if they avoid OKC,
Right.
there's also many great teams they have to play anyways to get to finals. Like let's say the Mavs, for example. Or if they had a bang with, like, let's say the Grizzlies or something, right?
Right.
Like, I love the Knicks and shit like that. But the real biggest threat in the East to get to the finals is really just Boston, if we're being realistic.
Yeah.
The threats to get to the finals in the West, it's a lot. It's a lot for the Nuggets. So I do think it might be a little bit of like, kind of like taken away from the Nuggets. Like, they have an incredible team. They have the best fucking player in the world by far. An incredible roster around them. They are deep. Like you just said, Jamal Murray, he was a little bit of a letdown last year in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Now you have a great fucking backup for him.
Yeah.
An incredible backup for him. Christian Brown is doing his thing. You know, everyone is contributing. Everyone is brought in. Everyone's doing their thing. But at the end of the day, that road just got harder. Way fucking harder. On the flip side, the East is easy as shit. Right now, it's Cleveland.
It's 3 teams.
And it's Boston.
4.
I would even say 3. Like, again, I respect our own team. We're still kind of like a small tier below them.
Yeah.
We're still outside that door just because we don't have that depth. We have an incredible starting 5. But again, we just put them in 6 or 7. Cleveland, at worst, you have them at 4.
Right.
Like, we have them at least in the top 3.
4 is the floor.
Exactly. Like, the last East team that we have besides Boston is all the way down at 6 or 7. You feel me? So it's just way too much competition in the West. But I don't want to put any doubt in Nikola Jokic. No. He's too much of a phenomenal player. Again, we've never seen him drop in the playoffs. Not one time. There's not a single series we could point out that he was a letdown. Even with Campazzo on the team, even with Austin Rivers on that team, no matter who you put around him, he is a fucking dog. He's gonna show up. He's gonna play. He's gonna be efficient and everything. He's not going to do anything wrong. So he's going to do his thing. Yeah. Westbrook, incredible. He's revitalized his career. Yep. Hopefully that transitions to the playoffs as well and everyone does their thing. But the road is not going to be easy. I still got faith. They could do it. My only thing is, too, like last year, throughout the pod and the season, we kind of penciled them in. We said, all right, they're the team to beat.
Like Boston right now.
Yeah. We penciled them in. We said, all right, they're the team to be in the West. What happened? They lost in the second round.
Yep.
I don't want to do that to them this year. Because as we saw, they lost in round 2. There's no guarantee for anybody in the West, even if you're the defending champ. So we'll see what happens.
That Minnesota matchup was the worst possible scenario. And they're not going to have to. We'll see. I feel like they're going to avoid them this year. So if they don't have to deal with, Jaden McDaniel shutting down Jamal Murray, and then even then they're not the same team anyways.
Of course not.
I mean, I do believe that Timberwolves team was built by Tim Connolly, who constructed the Nuggets. He built a team to stop the Nuggets. Yeah. And now this year they have their own set of problems. The Timberwolves are possibly a play-in team at the end of the year. And so if the Nuggets can avoid them, which even if they don't, they're going to beat them, I think, in 5 or 6 games this year because the Timberwolves have so many problems.
Garbage.
Then you look at the West, and it's, I think, a lot more favorable than last year, the matchups.
I mean, OKC, low-key got the personnel, too.
They do. They do. Yeah.
Grizzlies could be a problem as well. That's what I'm saying. That was like the first 2 teams I named because I think that's going to be the main 2 teams that's going to be a problem with them, and it might be a little bit difficult to avoid both of them.
I think for the sake of the all-time shit, I would love to see Jokic win one. Like if it's not the Knicks, I would love to see Jokic get one. Yeah. Get another one.
100%. But I'm not gonna lie, I want to see Luka win too. I really wanted to see him win
Yeah.
last year badly, but he couldn't do it. Number 3, you already spoiled it. You have the Nuggets at number 3. Justin, this is where I got the Cavs.
I have the Cavs here as well.
So, again, number 1 seed, they have the easier path. Deep team. Sometimes, like I said earlier on in the show, there's certain nights where anyone could be like the best player. Like you said, Darius Garland's your favorite player. There's many nights where he's the best guy. There's nights D. Mitch could step up, E. Mob could step up. Rare nights where Jarrett Allen could step up. It's a really deep fucking team. And they could cause problems for a lot of teams in the East. Boston, I still don't know yet in that 7-game series. Like you said, I still think Tatum's going to pose a problem for them. I still think that backcourt's going to pose an issue for Cleveland's backcourt. So I'm still a bit iffy on them matching up with each other. I think someone else is going to have to knock out Boston for them in the playoffs to really get to the finals. But in terms of everybody else, I think they're going to knock everybody out in the East besides Boston. I don't really think there's really too much competition for them. I could eat my words. There could be people that make it tough for them. But like I told Justin, why, because I know he said, like, as a Knicks fan, he's like, I'm not scared of the fucking Cavs, whatever. But what makes our team different this time around from what we were last time is, like I explained to him, is that we're so much deeper with our bigs. And our bigs back then were really fucking physical. And that's why we posed that problem. And like Jarrett Allen said, in that JJ Redick interview, he said they were so fucking physical. We weren't ready for that. We didn't know they're going to be so physical in the trenches. They weren't able to rebound or anything. Because we had a guy as big and strong as Julius Randle. We had an iHeart. We had a Mitchell Robinson. We had all these guys. And unfortunately, we don't really have that surplus right now. So I think in a matchup against us is not going to be the same as a couple of years ago. So right now, it's just them and Boston. They're trying to catch up to Boston right now in terms of chasing them to get to the finals.
Yeah. It really comes down to Darius Garland showing up in the playoffs. Last year was really bad, but we know why. Like, he had the whole jaw thing. Evan Mobley, I think he's gonna step up. He had moments last year against Orlando where it was like, oh shit. Like, Evan Mobley, he showing some flashes. Donovan Mitchell, we all know he shows up in the playoffs. I think, their path is gonna be like their wheel to get into the Eastern Conference Finals, potentially the finals, because they won't see Boston till the conference finals. So hopefully they could take care of business. This team is deeper too, I think, because we see it with the guys off the bench like Ty Jerome, Sam Merrill. Hopefully we see that trade with Cam Johnson. If they do get Cam Johnson, it looks a lot scarier.
If the Kings don't steal him first.
Yeah, the Kings have been trying to get him, but they apparently fell out of the conversation, though. Because they don't want to include Keon Ellis. They want to put in Trey Lyles and Herter. And
I thought they were asking for Devin Carter, too.
Yo, that's what it was. My fault.
That's what
it was Carter, not Keon.
Yep, not yet.
Fuck that. No, you're not getting Devin Carter.
But I think Kenny Atkinson low-key might be one of the biggest X factors for Cleveland that nobody's talking about. Because respect to JB Bickerstaff, but I think with Kenny Atkinson, it's a whole different level.
He has a ceiling. That's what he's great with young teams, but he has a ceiling.
Yeah, but I think it's gonna be a whole different. Like we'll probably see some shit that we've never seen with Cleveland, like in the past.
I would argue you've never seen a ceiling because whether or not he wanted to be out of Brooklyn or Brooklyn wanted to fire him, he got fired in 2020 before ever getting Coach KD, and at the same exact time. He had Kyrie for like 27 games.
20 games.
That was Kyrie's like best 20 games before he had shoulder surgery. So I don't know if there was a ceiling on him, honestly. Because if anything, he brought a ceiling to a team in 2019 where they should not have been a playoff team, but he got the most out of everybody. They lost Karis LeVert, but they got him back. They got the most out of Allen. And I definitely think him coaching Allen against him pretty cool. Kind of his best years have come with Atkinson.
And they made the playoffs in 2020. Kyrie missing all them games. That's crazy.
What you talking about?
They got into the bubble and they didn't have enough guys. The playoffs. The Nets in 2020 got into the playoffs.
1920.
They lost to the Raptors, first round.
They had run out of guys in that first round series.
Timothy Luaro Cabarrot. He was on that fucking team.
Yeah.
The playoffs in 1920?
Yes.
Yeah. They had Jamal Murray for like 5 minutes in the playoffs and they pulled his hamstring and then that was like his last NBA game ever.
Jamal Murray. No, you mean Jamal Crawford. Yes.
Bro, I do not remember. I thought they missed the playoffs.
No, they made the playoffs. Yeah. I think they were like the 7th.
Karis LeVert went ballistic, if I remember correctly.
They made the playoffs.
They did.
I gotta check this.
As a 7 seed, they had probably like 30.
Low key, the fact he coached that team to the playoffs is crazy.
They had like 30 something wins.
I thought y'all was trying to reference the D-Lo team. Like,
No, I'm talking about the year after.
Yeah, the year after. Karis LeVert had his best season, and they got in because there's no one in the East. After the top 6, everyone was like on pace to win 38 games before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Brother, I am on crack.
Yeah, I remember.
Y'all are right. This
Yeah.
was a sweep.
Yeah.
Yo, I do not. Yo, word 2. I do not remember this, bro. I can't lie. I don't remember this. It was a sweep, and like y'all said, they won 35 games. Yeah. 35 and 37. Yeah, I do not remember this series,
I
bro.
remember they called Jamal Crawford to pull up, play for them. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, 5 minutes. You got
this is when I was pushing Siakam agendas. Though.
Yes, yeah.
Heavy Siakam agendas.
We used to have Tatum versus Siakam
really
arguments. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still standing by it though. It's not over yet. It's not over till they retire, bro. It's not over. Siakam could still win an MVP one day. You never know. You feel me?
Yeah.
It took Steve Nash until 30-something to win an MVP.
Yeah.
It's still possible. You don't gotta hate. It's still possible.
Except Siakam's 32.
It's still there. The chance the chance is still there, bro. It's not.
Siakam is 30.
The debate is not in the coffin yet. I'm not giving up
Might be
yet.
like 31.
I'm not putting it away yet.
Tatum is reading a book at the finish line, and Siakam is catching up.
The hare and the turtle, whatever it's called.
Yeah,
Let's see.
Tortoise in the hair.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see what fucking happens. Watch. Number 2.
I got the Boston Celtics.
Celtics.
Number 2, I have the Boston Celtics.
Damn, I thought one of us would have OKC. Yep. Wow. Yeah, defending champs. All right, Justin, lead us off.
I was almost about to put Boston at 3 and put Cleveland at
4.
Oh yeah, I know it sounds crazy.
Damn.
But just because of the recent play, like it's been fucking concerning.
You hate Cleveland too.
It's been concerning with Boston though. Like it's been like very glaring. Jaylen Brown hasn't been the same this year as he was last year. Porzingis has been in and out. Horford is a year older. It's really like, and then Drew Holiday, Derek White, they've been good, but it's not the same as last year. Tatum has been a lot better this year than he was last year. Peyton Pritchard has been way better this year than last year. But it's just a lot of like glaring holes in the game, and I just kept them at 2 just because they are the reigning champs, and I give them that respect. And they are battle tested, like they've been through this. So I think this, I don't know if I want to just chalk it up and say this is kind of like, every championship team, they go one of 2 ways. They either play way better or they have the fullest shit. Oh, yeah, we won. We could just flip the switch whenever. This is kind of what they're going through right now.
Yeah, I was about to say, their form is concerning me right now. Yeah. I mean, it's January. Who gives a shit? But the form is kind of like, all right, what's going on right now?
Yeah, it's weird, like, seeing games where it's like they're playing the Clippers. And I know the Clippers aren't bad, but it's like they're going to OT with the Clippers without fucking Harden. And no Kawhi. And then the very next day, they get fried by the Lakers. It's like, come on now. And then they lose to the Raptors. Like, it's crazy. Like, last year, Celtics, they wasn't losing to the fucking Raptors.
Oh, no.
And now it's like, they had one game where RJ Barrett had a fucking triple-double, and it took a Tatum travel game winner to win. Mm-hmm. And then the Raptors just beat them recently. So, I'm going to give them the respect still because they are the reigning champs. But I'm just making note of, like, some of the concerns, and hopefully they could clean it up come playoff time.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I do find myself concerned that Drew Holiday might regress offensively a little bit more. And at the same exact time, Derek White was so amazing last year. I want to see that happen again, but I'm not entirely sure if they're going to have that same spark that those 2 guards gave them last year, where at times they could have been the second best player on the floor. Hell, they could be one of them the best player on the floor one night. And this year it feels like now, and this is a bad thing, honestly, at times in the past, the Celtics have been so deep that you could question, all right, is Tatum really the best player on the team? I would never do that because he was always the best player on the team, quite clearly to me. But this year...
Whoa.
Oh, you're a Jaylen Brown guy, huh?
He's a Jaylen Brown guy.
He was always the best player on the team. But this year, it's at a point where it's, all right, it's Tatum and then kind of the rest of the group, which is all kind of underperformed for the most part. So I look at Tatum not being supported in the same way, and I think that this year might just be a harder path to get there. Because last year they ran through it 16-4, obviously, but the competition this year is going to be deeper to me. With the healthy Orlando, obviously the Knicks, and the Cavs, to me, that top 4 is a little bit more sturdy, a little bit more steady. You're not going to get the Pacers. Pacers gave them a good series. That was their ECF matchup. But, yeah, I know Jaylen Brown last year had an amazing finals, and I expect him to be better in the playoffs too, but it was always Tatum's team.
What the fuck, man? Come on.
What do you mean? What the
Yeah,
fuck?
like hold on. Well, the one thing I will say though is like, yeah, there's a down year for JB in terms of efficiency. You feel me? But I got no doubt he's gonna turn it up in the playoffs. Even though the Drew Holiday concerns with the offense, that's a valid concern, but we got to think about it in this way as well. Pam Pritchard is ascending though too, so he's making up for it. So it's like there's not even a loss for that. My biggest concern though, which is going to be my concern for as long as they have this guy, is always going to be Porzingis' health. No matter what, that's always going to be my concern with these guys. But no matter what, this is going to be the team to beat in the East. No matter who the top dog is in the East, it could be us as the 1 seed, the Cavs, the Bucks. No matter what, this is the fucking team to beat.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone else has had more conference finals appearances than them since like 2017. Not the Bucks, not the Raptors, nobody. Just off the top of my dome, nobody else has had more conference finals appearances. They've been in the conference finals more than they've missed it at this point in time since then, which is ridiculous. Since JB got drafted, basically, which is absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. So I got no doubt that they're at least going to get that far, but even then, like, to get bounced in the conference finals would be a failure by their standards at this point. So their form right now, a little bit concerning as January. At least get it out the way now rather than go through it in like March and beginning of April. So get that shit out the way now. But I'm not concerned. I have given Tatum a lot of criticism in the past, but like I said a couple episodes ago, have to give him the props. The one thing I've asked him for a while, to be more aggressive. Like, bro, you're 6'9". Take it to the fucking hole. He's doing that this year. So that's why you haven't seen any clips of me like this season of me criticizing him, telling him to get more aggressive, telling him, yo, cut that shit out with the sidestep jumpers and bailing them out early in the shot clock. He has been aggressive. That's why I really haven't heard from me saying much about Tatum, about saying anything bad about him. So he's doing his thing. I can't really say much about him. They're the champs. The East isn't competition for them. Don't worry about the East. Look across the fucking coast and see, all right, who are we going to play over there? That's my thing. Unlike the Nuggets, where it's like last year where we penciled them in, they kind of did have to worry about who they have to play in the West. These guys, let's just be real. I know you said the competition top heavy in the East. They kind of do have to worry about some teams. I still really wouldn't worry too much, respectfully. Magic, yeah, they'll pose a fight. These guys will wear you down. They're not going to beat you. I'm just being realistic. They're not going to beat you. They'll wear you down for 6 games, maybe 7 at worst. They're not going to fucking beat you, though. Just being realistic. So that just leaves number 1. We all know who it is.
Oklahoma City Thunder.
Okay.
Sacramento Kings. Nah, fuck with you. No. OKC. The perfect team, the dream team. They got it all. Everyone plays defense. They got a MVP front runner. I'm not going to say the MVP front runner. They just got everything, bro. Do we have to say anything? Let's just be real. Do we got to say anything? They just made their team last year that looked damn near perfect and upgraded.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw them eviscerate the Cavs in their last matchup. The second one was an absolute thriller. And you look at what a championship team is built around. It starts with a playoff superstar, and I expect Shea to really establish himself as that this postseason. Obviously, on the defensive end, you'll get Chet Holmgren back for the playoffs, and when you put him alongside Isaiah Hartenstein, opposing teams are going to have a really tough time getting to the rim on them. Maybe you could have some questions about the young guys like Case and Isaiah Joe, who didn't hit their shots last postseason, but they could make a move at the deadline to get a better shooter. I know people talk about Cam Johnson, and if they don't, I expect Jalen Williams to be better this year with an extra year experience. And honestly, it reminds me a lot of Jaylen Brown. People have been impatient with him this year because he hasn't taken a leap in points a game. But in the postseason, you usually need experience to level up. And honestly, I felt like last year that Dallas series was a tough one physically for them. And they just, a lot like we talked about with the Cavaliers against the Knicks a few years ago, they weren't fully prepared for that. And you get that full year, and then not only that, a couple of extra playoff series under your belt, it'll kind of better prepare you. So there's really nothing that you could kind of dissect and say this is what they're missing, except maybe they don't have the best number 2, but I expect Jalen Williams to continue being a star because you can have your criticism. I know a lot of Thunder fans think we were talking about this the other day, someone tweeted that the dynasty starts after Jalen Williams because you need to level up from him, but I don't believe that at all, honestly. I expect him this year to continue being what he's been, which is one of the best defensive wings. And then, of course, offensively, he's going to give you that shot creation. I really expect him to have a much better playoff run. I think his game translates really well to the playoffs. It's just a matter of the threes going in. And so far this year, they haven't, but at 32%, he's way better than that. I think he's a lot closer to those high 30s.
My one big fucking concern, though, I do think that they could go far without him, but I'm scared about Chet. Not just, we know he's going to come back, but when it comes to the hip, bro, you don't want to fuck around.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I'll say. You never know what the hip is going to do to you long term. That's my number one concern, though. Yeah. We saw what the hip did to IT. Oh, yeah. And I'm not going to say that's going to be the same exact thing that's going to happen to Chet, but the hip is just one of those injuries that could possibly change you for a good, decent amount of time.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. But even without him, I think they're fully fucking capable to run through a lot of teams. Cam Johnson, while it would be a great addition, nothing wrong with being greedy. It low-key would be greedy, though. I don't really think they need him at all. It would be a greedy move. Mm-hmm. It would just be adding more to the treasury trove. But, hey, fuck it. Why not? You could do it. You could enter sweepstakes, and you're going to win automatically. No one else can match you.
Yeah.
Why not do it? You got nothing to lose at this point.
Mm-mm.
There's nothing at all to fucking lose. You're good. Might as well just stack the deck, and no one can match you at all. Yeah. There's nobody to beat you in the West. I mean, like I said, it's y'all and the Nuggets. With all due respect.
Yeah.
And maybe the Mavs. If the Mavs want to fuck around, do some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Besides that, hey man, it's your guys' to lose. Yeah. Last year was the test. Hey, we had the expectations. You lost in round 2. I really had y'all penciled in for the conference finals until I saw the Mavs win that round 1. That's when I said, yo, the Mavs are going to go to the finals if they beat the Thunder. But this is the time where I say, yo, no excuses. Last year, you had the inexperienced excuse. Y'all been to the dance. You got to go far. And you got to go the distance. And guess what? If they go to the fucking finals, bro, I don't care if it's the Celtics. I don't care if it's the Cavs or anybody else. I got them winning. Today, a month from now, I'm not changing my opinion. March, I'm not changing my opinion. April, I'm not changing my opinion until they get eliminated. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
And I'm going to stand on that from here until then.
Yeah. Last year was good for them. They got to go to the party, feel it out, and then pause. And then everything that we kind of saw with them, like dealing with the physicality of Dallas, they kind of got to go through that. So this year, I think they'll be a lot better, especially with the addition of Hartenstein, Caruso. Man, I think this team is fucking legit. Hopefully Chet comes back healthy. Sometimes I do have concerns with J-Dub. Like, can he like really be that second like ball handler that they need outside of Shea? Because sometimes if Shea's not out there, it gets real dark.
Right.
But I think I put some faith in J-Dub that he could do it. I think that Dallas series, it was just like they had the personnel to like really bother him. But I think they're well equipped to go through the West. Like you said, Denver is that top dog. Dallas fully healthy is one of them too. But Shea playing like this, and if he could get like those good games from these role players and get a good game here or two from J-Dub, they could very well do their thing.
Oh yeah, shout out to the Thunder, man. All right, so that's the top 10 contender list from all of us.
Should we read it off?
Yeah, 10, so I'm going to go from my 10 to 1. I had the Rockets, the Lakers, the Bucks, Grizzlies, Mavs. Oh, wait, I'm so sorry. Wait a second. Sorry. Grizzlies, Knicks, Mavs, Nuggets, Cavs, Celtics, and Thunder. Justin, read yours from 10 to 1.
So at 10, I have the Houston Rockets. 9, I have the Clippers. 8, I have the Milwaukee Bucks. 7, I have the New York Knicks. 6, I have the Memphis Grizzlies. 5, I have the Dallas Mavericks. 4, I have the Denver Nuggets. 3, I have the Cleveland Cavaliers. 2, I have the Boston Celtics. And 1, I have the Oklahoma City Thunder.
You're a demon if you remember. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I got it.
Are you fucking serious?
10, I got the Houston Rockets. That, to me, is really the one team. Whereas between them and the Magic, went with Houston. Number 9, the Clippers. Number 8, the Bucks. 7, I did go with the Knicks. I kind of am fading them a little bit, but I still believe they're a really good team. Number 6, I did go with the Grizzlies slightly above them. But then at number 5, round out that group, I've got the Mavericks once Luka comes back healthy. Then at number 4, I think this is where you start to look into that. All right, this team's really they're honestly a lock to go with the conference finals, bar an injury. That's the Cavaliers at 4. Number 3, I got the Nuggets of Jokic. That's the best player in the world. I can't leave him out the top 3. Number 2, I got Boston. I know they're not playing great right now, but it really says more about the way Oklahoma City's playing. That's my number 1 team.
Shout out to OKC, man. Let's get into this MVP of the week and then move on to the shout outs to close out the show. All right, John, so I got 3 players. Usually we have a couple of players to talk about the best performances of the week.
Gotcha.
Decide who that MVP is. This time we got 3 players. So right now, Justin, the first player I got up for you, I'm not going to lie, I think he's going to win. Let's be real.
I already know who's going to win.
Yeah, we already know who's going to win. Let's just put him first.
Yeah.
Shea, 27, 3-10 with 4 steals. 54, 8-5 with 3 steals and 2 blocks. Thank you for carrying me in fantasy. I needed that performance. And 31, 1-7. They went 2-1 that stretch. Jokic with 20, 14-10. 27, 13-10 with 4 steals. And 35, 22-17. They went 3-0. That low-key might be close. And Donovan Mitchell low-key getting outclassed here. 33, 5-5, 19, 3-3, and then 37, 3-3. They went 1-2. John and Justin, MVP of the week.
Nikola Jokic.
Mine's got to be Jokic. I'm sorry.
Holy shit! I thought I was gonna pick Shea. I'm picking Shea.
You can go with Shea, 35 and 22 with 10 assists.
No, 17.
17. Thank you. 17 assists, 1 turnover.
I'm going with Jokic. Bro.
I don't know, bro. That 54 ball looked fucking fun.
54 against the Jazz was insane because they didn't have either of their bigs.
It's tough.
Utah was throwing everything at them.
I would have went with Shea, but after that game,
Jokic, 17 assists, 1 turnover in that matchup.
It's the first 30 2015. Very first one in history.
Put up 100 fantasy points. Think about that.
I had him in fantasy this week.
You do Sleeper or ESPN or
we do ESPN. I don't know.
I fucking told you, man. We should have stayed on ESPN, bro.
I do Sleeper for NFL. My team it's solid, but my friend Guido does it weird where steals and blocks are worth one of them is worth 3 points. And so all of a sudden I have these offensively driven players in my team.
Oh, interesting.
And they get no stocks Markkanen. Markkanen's the 17th ranked
What are you about to say?
Can you talk to our commissioner about some shit like that?
And I don't like it personally because I didn't know that before the draft.
Hold on. I said, should I make blocks worth 3 points?
No, not that.
Said no.
I think it's worth 2.
He made rebounds initially worth 2 and
that's crazy.
And points half a point.
That's
so
insane.
So
rebounds gotta be a point.
So I was drafting.
Or Drummond going with MVP.
So I was drafting De'Aaron Fox early. My boy drafted Brunson.
Yeah.
He has a Jalen Duren, who is a top 15 fantasy player.
Yeah, that's insane.
Then you got guys like D Book, Ant, Fox, Brunson, all way better players than him. But then Jalen Duren's top 15. I'm like, dude, this is fucking ridiculous. Fix this. We said fix this shit.
Yeah.
He was like, fine, I'll make points worth 1. Yeah. I was like, it should have been like that from the start.
Yeah, and I lost out on Sabonis.
Yeah, rebounds 2 points is wild.
Oh yeah, that was a stupid trade though. We had to veto that.
That was crazy.
That was stupid. We had to veto that shit because some guy admitted, yeah, I'm giving up, and he was gonna give him Sabonis. Sabonis is the 5th best fantasy player in the league.
Yeah, that's wild.
Fuck out of here.
I was giving up Jaylen Brown, J-Dub, and Daniel Gafford.
Yeah, but Jaylen Brown sucks.
Yeah.
And if you're listening to the point system, he sucks by that standard, and J-Dub sucks by that standard. For Sabonis.
That's my entire team. Jokic, J-Dub, Book, Fox, all those guys just named my team.
I'm trying to get rid of Trae Young because he sucks by those standards too.
Yeah. No, the 2 points to 1 rebound though is wicked because then you have Andre Drummond and Jonas Valanciunas top 5 centers.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate the support.
But I was mad about the stock shit because I had Amen and I dropped him right after I saw that.
He picked him up. That was a good pickup. I can't even.
But here's the thing: I dropped him and I picked up Trey Murphy though. So I
picked up Trey Murphy.
Yeah. So I did okay on that.
All right. Any shout outs you got, John, before we head out of here?
Nah, man. I guess
no socials on nothing.
Anything you want to plug?
Personal people.
You want to follow me on really any social. I'm not active as much right now on YouTube. I'm hoping to kick that back up anywhere. John Tortorelli. Last name kind of funny to spell. Tortorelli. Shout out to you guys for having me. Honestly, a great time being here. Always love talking ball, and today it's a fun time. I got to talk about my team. Got to talk about everything. All stars, contenders. This was a good one.
100%. Justin, what about you, bro? I'm gonna go last this time for once.
I mean, I don't have any shout outs, but shout out to John for pulling up. We got to make this happen, and I really appreciate you again for pulling up.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
I thought you were gonna shout out your guy.
Yeah.
What guy?
Josh Allen.
There you go.
You fucking love Josh Allen. I thought you were gonna shout him out.
Yeah,
Hey,
Buffalo.
man.
Yeah, Buffalo.
I mean, I'm not a. Well, I have Buffalo, but I'm not a Bills fan.
Yeah.
I'm a Giants fan. But yeah, I've been rooting for Josh since like 2020, and like it's finally. I'm hoping this is the year, man. Cause damn, the Chiefs own them.
Can't go 0-4 versus Mahomes, right?
Yeah, you can't. But
No way.
it's tough. It's an Arrowhead. It's if it was in Buffalo, I would have been a lot more confident. But damn, bro, I'm rooting for you, Josh. Please,
Nah,
please.
if he win that shit, I'm gonna be sick.
I'm gonna be sick if they fuck. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna be sick if Kansas City wins. I reword that.
I want him to win.
I need Allen to win, and I need the Eagles to lose too.
I have no horse in the race anymore, so I just want Josh Allen to win.
Yeah, the Bills
at
are
this
my
point.
horse.
I need Allen versus Daniels.
Wait, so who's your favorite team?
I'm a Steeler fan,
Oh, so
regrettably.
you're out the race
Oh,
too.
he's like Kev.
Oh yeah, he's with Kev then.
Yeah, we joke with Kev all the time. He's a Steelers fan. He was so hyped this year.
Yeah, he was hype,
Yeah, man.
and it's over for him.
No
too.
reason to be hyped. No,
I mean, we're all out at this point.
you're both Giant fans.
No,
Jets.
I'm a big Jared Goff fan.
Jared
I'm-
Goff.
Lions. Yeah.
Well, I go where Jared Goff goes.
Yeah, not Lions. He's a Jared Goff.
I go where Jared Goff
Are you
goes.
serious?
Yeah,
I
What
might have
made you
been
a
one
Jared
of
Goff guy.
I fucking love Jared Goff.
Like St. Louis Rams Jared Goff.
Every Jared Goff.
Like Cal Jared Goff.
Well, no, not that early.
Ah.
But every
I don't
Jared
even think he
Goff.
got to play for St. Louis because I think his rookie year they just went back to
They
LA.
dropped him.
You might be right.
I fuck with every Jared
Oh, I
Goff.
think they did move to LA
I think
when he
they
got drafted.
just went back to LA.
Yeah.
But that's my dog.
Wow.
Even when he was down the dumps,
It's a rookie.
that's my dog. When I
Why?
was a rookie, I'm saying even when he went to Detroit,
What made
that
you?
was still my dog.
What made out of all the quarterbacks you could have chosen Jared Goff? He's the first overall pick.
That's my dog.
First overall pick. But like, what made Jared Goff the guy that you were like? This is my quarterback. This is my team.
That's my dog. Well, he's not my team. He's my dog. So if he got traded to
Right.
fucking wherever, if he went to the Steelers, I'm gonna cheer my guy on.
Right.
It's my dog. I got a Jared Goff shirt.
Wow.
I was gonna wear it on the show the day after the game, and then he got eliminated. I'm like, shit, I can't wear this anymore. I was about to talk match. I was like, they lost. I was like, fuck. Yeah, I'm leaving this
I
shit
might
at
have
home.
been Lions hater #1 this year.
That's good.
He's a Giants fan, and he told me to my face, if you guys face the Eagles in the championship, I'm rooting for the Eagles. I was like, oh, you're a fucking
That was
loser.
That's wicked.
That was really just
I was like, you're a
agenda
fucking
shit, though.
loser.
I think if he didn't have those ties, I would root for the
Yeah,
Lions.
'cause
but
you're a fucking loser.
the fact that he had those
That's
ties,
crazy. Yeah.
I'd rather see the Lions downfall than.
That's like you liking baseball and me saying, oh, because now that you like randomly the Rangers, I would rather the Red Sox beat you. That's fucking crazy. I
I'd be
would
like,
never say that
I
shit.
love it. Let's
I
go.
would never say that
Just
shit,
for the sake
bro.
of some talk.
I would never fucking say that shit. My shout out though, obviously, big shout out to John. Always appreciate when somebody comes to sit down with us, gives us their time. Time is valuable. Time is money, the most important commodity and currency. And then 3 big shout outs. I don't know if you're a big baseball guy, John. I'm a big baseball guy. Basketball is my #1 sport. Baseball is my close #2. So big shout out to Ichiro. The biggest one to CC though. And big shout out to Billy Wagner. 3 Hall of Famers. Still no A-Rod though. So not a legitimate Hall of Fame. So there's that. But shout out to Ichiro. Not unanimous. I have no problem with that. I don't think he should have been. I don't think it's a controversial take neither. Like, he was cool. He was great. One of my favorite players growing up, but not a unanimous career, bro. I'm so sorry. Talented as fuck, but not unanimous. But hey, big shout out to them. No path for A-Rod to get there though. So until him, Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire get in, and Roger Clemens.
Isn't Pete Rose too?
No,
Or was that for
he's out.
gambling? Well, he's never gonna make it.
him is
obviously.
gambling.
Yeah.
But he's dead now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
fucking put him in at this point.
Yeah.
He's dead. Like, come on. And I feel like they were waiting for him to die to put him in anyways, and they're gonna do it, I bet. Nah, he's dead.
Yeah.
Which is fucked up, but whatever. Justin, walk us out of here.
If you guys are listening on audio, please follow us. Please like. If you guys are watching on YouTube, please subscribe. Please like. Follow us on TikTok at the J&J Podcast. We appreciate you guys. Everything is going up. We'll see you next week.
Big salute. Peace.
Peace.